Bam, we're live. Good morning, Scott. Lulu. The return of Seiter. Crazy story. Wild story. I was freaking out. He was a good dude, great guest, smart, crazy smart. A pleasure to talk to. Like, very easy to understand. A guy who can really express his feelings, his thoughts, his logic. I mean, on the rankings of people that I've had on the show who I understand, I'd put him at the very fucking top of the heap. He's an absolute pleasure to speak with. Didn't have to interpret what he was saying. Good morning, Devesh. And then I don't know. Was this a month ago? This popped up. Josh Seiter was found unresponsive in his hotel room in Mexico early this morning. He was pronounced deceased by hospital staff a short time later. We will update the public with more details in coming days. I scoured the internet looking for what happened. And I wanted to text him, I wanted to text something to his phone because I just couldn't believe it. I mean, what do you say to someone that is dead? Oh, Mr. Schindeldecker, dude, I saw we got you on the schedule. I'm so pumped to have you on the show. Matt said you told him a crazy story that I'm going to absolutely love tomorrow. I can't wait. So I send Josh a text, and I'm freaking out, right? I mean, I don't really know the guy that well, but I had him on. And like I said, he was a great guest, crazy articulate. I really enjoyed speaking with him. Really, really enjoyed speaking with him. I feel like it was so easy to understand. Top of the heap of guys who can explain themselves, what he's thinking. Inside world, outside world. He got all that shit dialed, articulate about it. So I text him something like, I don't even remember what I text him. I don't want to be weird but I was feeling weird. I wanted to say, dude, I love you. I miss you. I hope this is bullshit. I don't think I went that hard, but it's like, Josh, I hope you're okay, dude. Thinking about you. And then yesterday, I get this text from him. It says, thank you. Something like, thank you, I'm okay. Thank fucking God. So I start texting back and forth with him. And he starts telling me what happened. And anyway, I was like, hey, do you think you could come on the show for a few minutes in the morning? We could talk. Bam. There he is. Hey, dude. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What a story.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't really talk about, I get a lot of flack on my page because of the trans troll. And even now, months after the reveal, there's still thousands and thousands and thousands of people commenting on the videos. But the left went absolutely insane after my troll. And it's not something I usually acknowledge in interviews or online. I'm not like, oh, people are hating on me, because I expect it. I trolled them, but I ended up getting doxxed, and these people are psychotic. And so they started flooding me with thousands and thousands and thousands of phone calls and texts and messages and harassment. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to troll them again. And I'm just going to say that Josh died. They'll celebrate it, which they did on Twitter. And then like after a month, after it all goes away, I can come back. So I feel really bad that like that's what I did. But at the same time, I don't, because nobody knows what it's like to have millions and millions of people know who you are and hate you and harass you. And every single day people are talking about, Josh Seiter is this horrible human being. And unless you've had hundreds of millions of people come to your social media and hate on you, no one knows what they would do in that situation, especially if it became personal, where people are sending you private messages, showing up at your house with cameras. And so I felt horrible. I was put in that situation and I don't feel bad. I put myself in this situation by doing the troll, but I feel bad that I took the step of, just being like, Josh is dead. But I felt like it was the only way to get it to stop, and it did. So,
Josh, many years ago, before I had kids, I was walking with my wife to get coffee one morning, and she said, hey, I'm pregnant. And I just start like I saw and she was telling me she's pregnant like for 30 minutes while we're walking, and I saw myself just in that 30 minutes a side of me that I couldn't even believe. I was trying to reorganize my life. I saw how I responded. I had a big phone call, a work phone call, and the first thing I said to her was like, "Hey, do you think now is really the good time to tell me that?" And I just saw all these just 30 minutes of like, I'm going to be a dad. And then she goes, "April Fools," and I really appreciated it. I was like, wow, that was a free acid trip. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, that was, and some people were like, "Hey, did that upset you?" And it's like, not even a tiny bit, dude.
Well,
Go
and
ahead.
I understand why people would be upset.
I do too, but I think it's a miss.
It's traumatic. I lost my dad in 2021. Lots of people have lost a loved one, and they're like, you don't joke or fake death or whatever. But again, unless you're Josh Seiter or someone else in the public spotlight that has hundreds of millions of people coming to their page, I was averaging 25 million views every month on my page for my entire troll. And after my troll, I was averaging 30 million views.
Wow.
And of those, I'm getting tens of thousands of comments. There's about 800,000 comments on my videos. And of those, 80% of them are negative. So that's, 65,000 negative comments. And again, I never acknowledge it. I just grin and bear it because that comes with what I did. I understand that. But when it becomes personal and you're doxxed, and then those messages are coming to your phone and people are showing, I had a YouTuber send a camera crew to my house and they gained entry into my house by posing as Daily Wire documentary producers. They used forged contracts with Bentkey Productions LLC, which is Daily Wire's production company. And Daily Wire's chief legal counsel called me along with the editor in chief, and they're now taking some kind of legal action against this YouTuber that posed as them. But anyways, long story short, everyone can guess and prognosticate about how they would handle, being in the spotlight. And, oh my God, I would never fake my death. Josh Seiter's terrible. He's a horrible person. It's like, yeah, but you don't know what it's like to be me and to get harassed daily. And again, it comes with the territory. Totally understand that. But at a certain point, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to troll these idiots. I'm just going to say I died. They'll celebrate it. There was thousands of posts on Twitter celebrating my death. And then I'll just come back a month later and tell them they're a bunch of idiots. So that's what I did.
Mr. Chapman, so it's okay for Josh to pretend he died and get away for a month from being hassled, but if I do it, I'm a bad husband. Dude, do it to your wife. What sucks is if you come home, Jake, in a week and she's fucking your brother's banging her, dude. Hey, what does it mean to be doxxed? What does that mean?
So doxed is where your private personal information is shared, whether it's home address, phone numbers, things like that. And so, I expected that it could happen, just kind of given the high profile that I gained after the trans troll. And it did eventually happen on Twitter. And these people are psychotic, right? I mean, they're cultists. The woke mob is a mob, obviously, and they're lunatics and they're mentally ill. And if you don't agree with what they say, instead of having a substantive debate or dialogue or a dialectic about the issues, they're just going to hurl personal insults at you and try to harass you. We've all seen it with other people, whether it's Alex Stein getting punched in the face or there's millions of examples of it. These people are violent. These people are mentally ill. And so I guess it just comes with the territory of trying to debate these lunatics. But yeah, it's just where your private information is shared. So,
and I'm guessing the only reason why you would dox someone is because you would want them to get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. It's like swatting. You just want the person to, get harassed. It happened to Nick Fuentes. I mean, I don't like him. He just recently posted me and did a whole podcast about how much he thinks I'm disgusting or whatever. But Nick Fuentes got doxxed, and it ended up with a triple murderer at his front door with a gun trying to shoot him. And the triple murderer was shot in the neighbor's house. right after he went up to Nick Fuentes' house. And that was all the result of Nick Fuentes getting doxxed. Unlike me, I'm not a white supremacist like Nick. All I did was say that, hey, men are men, they're not women. But apparently it had the same result with these lunatics. So
what? Someone doxed this. I don't know who Nick Fuentes is, but someone doxed him, and then the person who went to his house ended up killing his neighbor.
The person committed a triple homicide 15 minutes from my hometown in Mahomet, Illinois. And then after committing a triple homicide, drove straight to Berwyn, Illinois, to Nick Fuentes' house, tried to get into his house. Nick called the police, and then the police shot and killed the man at the neighbor's house.
Holy shit.
All from Nick being doxxed. So yes, it of course is you only dox somebody if you're trying to have harm come to them.
Why don't these people have a like a demarcation line? Why don't they have a boundary? Like, I'm okay if someone calls me, like a Reddit thread, if someone calls me a misogynist or a scumbag or a dwarf or a big nosed Jew lover. It's all fine, right? But there seems to be like, you don't go out. There seems to be like there should be a rule. The first rule would be like, don't go after people's families. And then even more serious than that, going after their families would be to wish for their death. Like someone I saw on Reddit recently, someone sent me a screenshot. Someone wished I would drown. And like, I can't imagine ever wishing someone would drown. Like you would have to be, I mean, like you'd have to like hurt my kids for me to wish that.
Well, right. And ever since John Locke developed social contract theory, civilized humans have understood that, it's better to have a debate and a dialogue with people than to try to kill each other. That's very animalistic. And we should have moved past that after, John Locke wrote his book on social contract theory. But These people are Neanderthals. These people are troglodytes, and they don't understand how to have a substantive debate. So instead, they resort to this. And, the worst things ever have been said about me. There's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of posts about me on Reddit and online about how I should die and how I'm terrible and I'm disgusting. And even though I'm Jewish, they say I'm a white supremacist. All these things. I've never once thought about doxing these people. It has never once crossed my mind to insult their families. I will debate anybody on the merits of anything, but the worst things have been said about me. I've never once thought about doxing somebody. So I think it just speaks to the kind of person they are and that they're incapable of having a real debate or dialogue about these issues. And I think that's why people are leaving the Democratic Party. I think it's why people are leaving the left. And I think it's why Donald Trump is president, because people are sick of the woke mob having a stranglehold on free speech.
The person who doxed you, is that I'm assuming that's legal to dox someone.
You know what? That's a great question. I don't know the nuances of the legality of doxing somebody online. I'm not sure how that works. It didn't even occur to me to, Daily Wire is already taking action for this person that forged contracts with their name on it. So it didn't occur to me to do that. But yeah, maybe they could go to jail for it. I'm not sure. It's a good question.
When I Googled Josh Seiter death, there was another report on TMZ of your death in 2023. That's separate from this, right?
Yes.
It kind of confused me.
Yeah, that's totally separate. That happened in 2023. That was when somebody hacked my account. And that's totally different from this, which is why people are like, dude, you died 2 times and came back to life. Like, what's going on?
Gotcha. Okay. Sevan is familiar with docking. I think that's like someone parks their dick in your ass or something.
Probably sounds like it.
Well, thank you, Christian. I'm a Renaissance fan. I'm try everything once. Okay. So, what was there a final straw, Josh, where you were like, okay, this is enough. I need to. In 2 questions, what was the final straw? And was it nice, kind of taking a break? I kind of like. It's so funny because I was talking with some friends the other day. I was like, hey, what if I just took a week off just to reboot? I mean, I wouldn't tell people I'd die, but just kind of like just a reboot. You know what I mean? Just to change the page. Like you fast for a week. I mean, I love social media. I love my Instagram. I love my phone. I don't want to be away from it, but I was just thinking, I wonder what it would be like, just like if you were going to run a mile every day for a year. Like, hey, what if I just went dark for a week? What was it like going dark, and what was the final straw?
Yeah, so to answer the first question, the final straw was, just really my family being harassed, people
Mm.
trying to contact people in my family. I can handle all of the hate that I get online. It's fine. I actually think it's humorous, most of it. But when people start contacting my family who has nothing to do with this, that's when I was like, you know what? I'll take the hit to my reputation when people realize I'm not really dead. I'll take all the negative things people are going to say about me. But if this is going to bring all of this to a stop for my family, then I'll do it. That's why now when people are like, you're a terrible person, I hate you, what kind of person fakes their death, I don't really care, because it was effective and it worked and it got the harassment to stop for me and my family. To answer the second part of your question, it was really therapeutic to take a few weeks off. It's really toxic. The internet is toxic and it weighs on you in ways that I think we're not conscious of while we're engaged in it. And it takes stepping back from that um, forum of hate to understand, wow, I really don't need to be engaged on X all day. I don't really need to be on Instagram all day. And it's actually negatively affecting my health. And there's been hundreds of studies on this, that there is a commensurate increase in anxiety and depression when you use social media more. So the more we use social media, the more depressed and anxious we become, which is why Congress is considering limiting social media interactions for adolescents, because it has a negative deleterious effect on the brain. It's very pernicious. And I already knew all of this going into it. I just kind of deal with it because it's the world I live in. But unsurprisingly, it was very nice to decompress, take a step back. And I found that those studies are in fact true. When I use social media less, I was happier, I was less anxious, I was less stressed, and I was able to be more present. It's hard to be mindful and it's hard to be present and in the moment in the world we live in if you're constantly staring at your phone. And there's actually a great book by a man named George Putnam who talks about the atomizing effect of phones and technology and how they were supposed to actually bring us together, and they were supposed to maximize and increase communication and interactions among individuals. And sadly, what's happened is the opposite of that. The more we've had iPhones and the more technology has advanced over the years, the more atomized and balkanized and isolated from one another we've become, which is very counterintuitive. You think of telecommunications and technology as bringing people together. It actually isolates us and causes us to retreat more into our phones, into our heads, and into ourselves. And so I think that's something we have to watch out for, is that kind of atomizing effect that technology can have.
What's the name of the book George Putman wrote? Do you remember?
I wish on the spot. I read it in
Okay.
college when I was a senior in college at the University of Illinois, and I took a media class from a great professor there, and he recommended it. But
I'll,
let me.
I'll look on. I'll look on. Oh, I probably spelled his last name wrong. Is it Putnam?
It is, and yeah, I wish I could.
I can find it. I don't mean to.
Yeah,
There's a one called Truth Matters.
that that might be it. I hope I'm not saying his name wrong.
You know what's interesting about that? What you're saying is to me, and maybe it's because I'm 52 and I didn't grow up with it, right? I mean, there wasn't YouTube for me until, like I saw this stat the other day. Facebook wasn't around when LeBron started his basketball career.
Wow,
That's how new it is.
that's crazy.
But for me, because I didn't have it as a kid, and I was either outside playing and then into high school just hanging out with friends and drinking and that stuff. To me, social media is just like, it's not even real. So when I see people are struggling with it, it's hard for me even to get my head wrapped around, because it just doesn't. It's like the teddy bear laying on my bed. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like I don't know. It's weird. It just don't think it's real.
Yeah, I can relate to that. A lot of people have asked me over the last year, Josh, how do you deal with the storm of hate online about your trans troll? And, the hate I get from that never bothered me, because I always say it's not real. It just exists, out there in the ether, out there on the internet. It's not real. It's just some random guy on a keyboard writing something that pops up on my phone. And so, yeah, the teddy bear analogy, I think, is a great analogy. The internet is not real, but sometimes, like when you're doxxed, it can bring the internet quite literally to your front door. And that's kind of when the line is crossed between this kind of amorphous, ephemeral thing out there on the internet to a real and present tangible danger. And I think that's kind of when the line is crossed. So
do you tell, obviously you tell your mom and dad before you do it, because you don't want them to just completely flip out?
Well, my dad passed away in 2021, but I told a few very close people to me, maybe 3 people. And then, I felt bad because there were people that, like Alex Stein reached out to me. A number of other people reached out to me and were like, hey, dude, what's going on? And they were like, I know this isn't real because you're a troll. But I didn't answer them because I felt like if I told one person, then they would tell everybody else. And people would be like, no, Josh is, this is all just a stunt. And then the harassment would continue. So I really just laid low for almost 3 weeks and didn't reply to anyone. So.
Well, I'll tell you this. I never once even entertained the thought of being angry or frustrated or caring to any significant value while you did it. I was just so happy to hear from you yesterday. I was like, oh, thank God. He's such a great contributor to, planet Earth. You're extremely well thought out, but on top of that, you're able to express your thoughts in a way that not a lot of guests can, not a lot of people can. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad, I'm so glad.
I appreciate that a lot. And, I feel horrible and guilty, that people are like, Josh, what the hell? You gave me a heart attack. I feel horrible. But again, until millions of people are harassing you and, have it out for you, it's hard for, I think, people to process and understand what it's like to be at the epicenter of that. So I do feel bad. A lot of people chided me and were like, dude, what the hell?
Hey, it's a great listen. Those people are missing an opportunity. It's just it's only us here. There's only one person here. It's you and your interpretation of it, whether you're Josh or Sevon. And like those people should just be happy that you're alive. I once again, I guess this refers back to what you were saying. They're just not being present. Like, hey, just be happy he's back. You just went for a ride. It was a free and safe experiment.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely. I think that is a great, enlightened, progressive take on it. I also,
please don't call me progressive.
I also, at the same time, understand why people would be upset. I would be upset.
Right, I understand, but
yeah, I would be upset too if someone were like, "Oh, this person's dead." And I'm like, "Oh my God," and I cried about it. And then, but if they were like, "Hey, me and my family were being harassed. I was doxxed. It made life impossible, and this is what I had to do for it to stop," I would, understand it and hopefully, understand where they're coming from. As you said, everything is someone's perspective and point of view. And I think it's important that we understand everyone's perspective. And even though I'm coming from a certain place, I totally understand why someone else would be coming from another place where they're like, hey, I didn't appreciate that. And I'd say, hey, I totally understand why you didn't, but this is why I felt like I had to do it. So,
yeah. And so you are healthy and strong, like you look.
Yeah, I am. But I was in the gym 2 days ago. I don't know. I had a lower back. I herniated my L4, L5 exactly a year ago.
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't? I'm 37 years old. I swear, as soon as I hit 35, everything broke down. And then 2 days ago, I was at the gym just doing a simple back row on barely any weight, 40 pounds. And I turned my neck to look at the clock, and this entire part just seized up. And right now it feels like I have concrete brick in my neck. And I'm assuming I strained a neck muscle or something. But yeah, dude, when you get older, your entire body just falls apart. So.
When you do that, when you were going out in public, would people walk up to you and be like, oh my God, Josh, you're alive?
No, I'm very isolated. I'm gonna be honest with you. The only times I really leave my place, I have two places. I have a place in Chicago and a place in my hometown of Champaign-Urbana. And the only times I really leave my home is when I'm going to the gym, I'm going grocery shopping. I don't go to bars, I don't go to nightclubs. Occasionally I'll go to a restaurant or out to eat. And so there's not really many opportunities for me to run into people. I was recently in Pennsylvania registering people to vote at a booth with Scott Pressler, a great American patriot, who's doing great things for the Republican Party. And while I was there, obviously, it's a huge convention. People are recognizing me and coming up to me, but that was before this whole death thing. So I really haven't been in public since the announcement, which was just yesterday. But I will be doing Alex Stein's show, Primetime with Alex Stein, live in studio the Tuesday after this upcoming Tuesday, so the 18th. And so people can tune in there to hear.
And that's on Blaze.
That's on Blaze Media. I love going there. And there's me and Scott Pressler at the Great American Outdoor Show. Scott is a good friend of mine.
Tell Alex I said hi. He's been on the show a half dozen times. He's a great guy. Nice. Yeah, and he great stories. I love having him on. Matter of fact, I'm going to text him when the show's over. I know I know he's really busy. Hey, let me ask you about Scott Pressler.
Yeah.
The story is that he won the election in Pennsylvania, that he went and spoke to the Amish and pulled them out of their little cave, and they came and registered. But then afterwards, there were all these stories coming out. I don't remember what they were, but that his dad was somehow, I don't know, CIA or Mossad or some shit like that. Like his dad was somehow. Are there any truth to those stories, or what's the deal there? Do you know?
Well, I can't speak directly to his dad. I've never met him. I don't know much about him. My understanding is his dad's just a hardworking guy, great American, and is very proud of Scott. I mean, who wouldn't be if Scott was your son? I spent 4 days with Scott out there in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but we mostly just focused on, registering people to vote. We didn't talk much about his father, but I always go by Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is always the right explanation. So I would err on the side of assuming that his father is not Mossad.
Okay. Now that you're back and did you move out of that place where you were doxxed, or like how do you deal with that? What do you do with that place? Do you move out?
Yeah. So I have 2 different places, so it's kind of nice. And they're rentals. So I could kind of move around whenever I want at any time. So yeah, I have a lot of facility between places, and my hometown's in Champaign-Urbana. And then I have a place in Chicago as well. So I'm safe. Everything's, I think, fine now. But yeah, hopefully I don't get capped if I step outside. That hasn't happened. Most of the yapping seems to be online, and it seems to be kind of, within that universe. I think in person, I even saw someone the other day was like, Josh Seiter is a disgusting loser. I can't stand him. They made this X post, and I commented something snarky under it, which they then screenshotted and said, oh my God, I can't believe Josh Seiter responded to me. This is crazy. And it's like, this person is telling me I'm the biggest loser ever. But then when I leave a comment, they screenshot it, and it's literally the highlight of their life. And that's how a lot of these people are. They'll talk negatively about you on the internet, but if they see you in public, they're awestruck. So I just think it's kind of interesting. I think a lot of the way people act online isn't how they act in person. And so that's what makes me, feel pretty safe that in the real world, someone's not going to come up to me and, end me because I said that I think trans-identified men are men. They're mostly just, talking trash online, keyboard warriors. So
yeah, it is like that. I do everything I can to stay away from Reddit, and which is pretty easy for me. But there's a group of 25 people on Reddit, and it's their full-time job just to hate on me.
Reddit,
but it is just 25. And I
Reddit is the worst. Yeah. And I see some of their posts. I don't go on, I love Reddit, but I don't go to the Reddits about me. But I see some of their posts. If an article comes out about me or I Google myself and, read, I sometimes see Reddit posts popping up. And they are the worst of the worst, the lowest common denominator. The things they lie so much on Reddit. I saw someone on Reddit say when Josh Seiter was a exotic dancer in Chicago, he used to come up to the girls behind the bar every night and beg us for a ride home and say, please give me a ride home after the show. And I turned to my buddy and I was like, bro, I had a car the whole time I was dancing. What are they talking about? I parked in a parking garage across the street. I never went to the lower bar where this girl says she was working at. We were upstairs, cordoned off with red rope in the upstairs area because we're male dancers doing a over 18 show for hundreds of women. I never went to the lower downstairs bar in the common area, and I definitely never asked a girl for a ride home. And she said I did it every single night for 2 years. And I was just like, this person, literally, I was a dancer. This was 12 years ago she was talking about. She is on Reddit 12 years later, making up a completely fabricated story about Josh Seiter asking for rides home. And it really just shows how absolutely pathetic they are and what losers they are. I can't imagine doing that, going on Reddit and blogging about somebody that I met 10 years ago and making up a lie about them. And there's also somebody I haven't talked to in years that is through marriage in our family, but none of us associate with them. And they constantly are on Reddit talking about how they know Josh Seiter because they're part of the family, even though they've been excommunicated. And I was telling my brother, I said, can you imagine at 2 a.m. at night, you're on Reddit blogging about a family member you only know through marriage, and you've been doing it for 3 years. And so that's the kind of insane stuff I have to deal with. I'm sure Alex Stein and anyone out there deals with the same thing as you said. You have to deal with people on Reddit talking about you, but I am absolutely dumbstruck by the amount of lies that people tell on Reddit, and they want to pretend to know a person that they don't really know.
I can't believe women go on Reddit. It seems Reddit either reminds me of two things. You're either a 12-year-old boy or you're a pedophile. Just the way they present. You know what I mean? When you said she, I was like kind of blown away. I always imagine that Reddit's just a bunch of like just really frustrated, angry dudes, and something bad happened to them.
It's a bunch of incels. It's a bunch of losers that are, don't have a life. And so they hate on people that do have lives. There's a number of people that have been the subject of Reddit haters' hate and the target of their hate. And to me, I'm always like, this person you're talking about may be a loser, but you're a bigger loser because you're a nobody that's on Reddit at 2 a.m. blogging about another man and how much you can't stand him. And I see the same thing, Tristan Tate is a friend of mine, and I see the hate directed toward Tristan and Andrew Tate. And I'm like, dude, the amount of energy you're putting into hating these people and you're blogging about them and writing about them, it just blows my mind that someone can focus on a stranger for that amount of time.
Speaking of hate, Trump did a 90-minute up the other night, and I left so pumped. And I guess I like leaders with great vision. I just love the, when I used to listen to like Obama or Clinton or the Bushes or Jimmy Carter or whoever, just my life through listening to presidents do their ups, they were always so like, we're in a really hard time, or AIDS is running rampant, or it was always like I left like, we got a lot of work to do and this is going to be hard. And after Trump, it's like, we got a lot of work to do, but this is going to be fun and kick ass. Like I leave listening to him talk like pumped up, like charged, you know what I mean? Like on a positive note. What did you think of his up?
Well, I think Trump always reminds us that, this has the potential to be a golden era in America. And I think he restores confidence, faith, and pride in our country. For so long, we've been apologists, right?
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
this doom and gloom and LGBTQIA plus 2ITI, and we need, and black and queer and non-binary. And it's like, this doesn't resonate with any of us. Nobody cares about this stuff. Like, I want to be reminded why America is the greatest country on earth. I'm sorry, but our differences don't make us great. Unity, despite our differences, makes us great. Our common core values is what makes us great. Having optimism is what makes us great. Being apologists 24/7 does not make us great, and it's counterproductive, and it doesn't do anything. And I think that kind of ethic started with Obama, where Obama was kind of an apologist for Islamic motivated hate. He was an apologist for crimes against police. He was an apologist for so many groups of people, and was always talking about how so-and-so's oppressed and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear any of that. And most people don't. That's why blacks and Latinos came out in record numbers from Donald Trump, because I think this positive message you're talking about and the positive theme that Trump tends to have resonates with people across classes, across race. It transcends our differences and it unites us. And so I think that's the great thing about Trump. I think it's why he was elected president again, because people did not want to listen to what Kamala Harris had to say. And so I missed a lot of what Trump said in his speech. That's actually when I injured my neck. And so I was trying to get a hold on that. But I caught some of what he said, and what I saw online about what he said was inspiring. And I think all of everything he has to say is common sense. He's not saying anything that's controversial. He's just saying, hey, there's people here that shouldn't be here. It's time for them to go. They're here illegally. We need secure borders. We need to bring an end to this war. We need a common sense resolution to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. We need a common sense resolution to radical, insane, mentally ill jihadists in Gaza. Let's find solutions to these things. And that's what he campaigned on, which was that he's going to, create business deals and bring a lot of things to an end. I think the trade war that's going on is definitely interesting to watch. And obviously it's having an effect on the markets. But it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But I'm glad that he's holding people's feet to the fire. I'm glad that he's calling out Trudeau, who has been absolutely dictatorial in Canada, especially during the lockdowns, especially when it comes to free speech. I'm glad he's calling him and the vice president were calling out the prime minister of the UK for going into people's homes for Facebook posts that they were making. I think I'm glad that they're calling out journalists that are hypocrites, that are spewing conspiracy theories and are not speaking the truth about things. I think there's a lot of people that needed to be called out over the last 4 years, and I'm glad that Trump's calling all of them out for their hypocrisy.
Yeah. Well said. I really appreciate you coming on. I know your neck's really bothering you. Really great. I look forward to having you on again. It's always great talking to you. And we'll be watching on Blaze TV when you're on Alex Stein. Did you say on the 18th?
Yeah, so it'll be Tuesday the 18th, and we'll be talking about a number of topics on there. So everybody should tune in. It's always fun when, Alex is involved. So I'm sure he'll have some kind of a surprise that I'm not aware of. It wouldn't be the first time. The first time I was on Tim Pool's show, Culture Wars, I was surprised with the presence of Alex Stein climbing into the car behind me on the way to the studio. And so I'm sure Alex will have some kind of a surprise there for me, but hopefully I don't get whacked or beat up on the show. So if I do, you should tune in because you'll get to see it. So
sorry, one last question. What are you going to do about your neck? Icy hot or massage gun? What are you going to do about that?
Yeah, and take your time. There's, however long you want to have me is fine. I'm not like itching to get off. I just wanted to let you know that I did have a neck injury. But so I've been trying ice and heat. It's not touching it. I've been trying alternating an NSAID with something that's not an NSAID every 3 hours. Nothing's touching it. I'm just trying to stay busy because when I herniated my lower back, my physical therapist told me the worst thing you can do is just lie in bed. You need to try to stay active without straining that body part. And so I've been doing a lot of walking, which is also very therapeutic. And so just kind of detoxing from social media in general has been good lately. So maybe this injury is just the universe's way of saying, hey, be present, focus on being in the moment, focus on walking and, taking care of yourself. I've been under a lot of stress lately. I'm not the only one, but I think this maybe is just a manifestation of that stress and my body's kind of breaking down. So it's been frustrating. I'm not sure what I did, man. I must have just strained a muscle back there, but it's weird.
When you say stress, you mean stress from the doxing? Because I feel like ever since Trump was elected, I feel like this weight has been lifted off of me.
Yeah, stress in general, just from the trans troll that I did and all the hate that's now coming in. There seemed to kind of be a delay, for the first month after the reveal where I said, hey, this is all a hoax. It was all love. And then after that, it slowly morphed into just steady waves of hate for the last few months. So I think just over time, just seeing the thousands of comments about me, you start to internalize those things and say, wow, are these people right? Maybe if 10,000 people are telling me I'm a horrible person, maybe I am a horrible person. And so it's always a struggle to not internalize the things that people say about you online and to remember that what they say is more an indictment on them and their character than it is your character. And so, yeah, just that. But in general, I agree with what you say that since Trump got elected, I texted my friends as soon as he was elected and started talking about his public policy and what he was going to do. I said, I feel like the circus that's been in effect basically since Obama was in office. I feel like the circus has finally ended. I feel like the clown show has ended. I feel like this Orwellian world we've been living in, where up is down and down is up and right is left and left is right, has finally come to an end. And so it's really nice to feel like you're living in reality where they're like, hey, 6'5" dudes shouldn't be playing in women's sports. Hey, 11 million people who illegally broke into our country need to go home. Hey, we need to bring an end to these wars and stop giving people billions and billions of dollars. And so I feel like it's been really nice to just feel like the clown show is over. I'm sure you feel that way too.
I mean, there's some really crazy stories. There's hundreds of them, if not thousands of them. Well, the one that always stands out to me is the police raided a home in the UK, and they went in the home, and there were 5 grown men in there, and there was a drunk 13-year-old girl, and she was naked, and they arrested the 13-year-old girl for being drunk, and none of the charges were pressed on the guys. And I'm just, there's, and then you have what's going on in Scotland where you can't pray in your house, and yeah, these stories are there are some legitimate batshit crazy stories out there, and they seem to be becoming more and more normal. And I just feel so good that this is happening. If I could say one thing to you, for all the people that are out there that hate you, you have to remember, and it was like this during COVID for me, there would be people who lived in, family, they lived in a house with 5 people, and all their friends were getting the vaccine, and they're like, they didn't want to. And this show brought them solace, right? They're like, this doesn't make sense to me. So you have to remember, there's people living in families, in libtard families, who they're constantly being pounded with, you're not compassionate if you're not going to let men play in women's sports, or if you're not going to let men go into women's bathrooms and rape them. And you are you're hope for them. Like, they go to your account and they're like, okay, I'm not crazy.
Well, and I get that message a lot. I appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah.
I get that message a lot. Josh, thank you. I felt like I was the only person that felt this way, that was living in an insane world. And then I saw you mocking how absurd it was. And it made me realize, oh my God, I'm not crazy. And I would say that is probably the most common theme in the messages I get is, thank you for helping me realize I'm not crazy anymore, for thinking it's ridiculous that we're letting men go into women's bathrooms. And I think that, that's important, especially as you said, you're seeing what's happening in Scotland, even Ireland, with the refugees there and asylum seekers that are committing violent crimes, most of them Muslim, against the civilized population. They're driving cars into outdoor markets and killing women and children, it seems like, on a weekly basis. Police are raiding homes and arresting people for Facebook posts.
Yeah.
Men are committing SAs against women, and because the men are Muslim or dark skinned, the police don't want to arrest them for fear of appearing racist. We've just lived in an increasingly ridiculous and absurd clown world, and it's really nice, I think, that Trump is kind of restoring sanity back to the country and hopefully back to the world.
And even Joe Rogan, gave you a more than a nod. He acknowledged your sanity in the subject.
5 months later, he said that it was all a social experiment on an episode of the conservative podcast Prime Time with Alex Stein. Seiter said the purpose was to expose how gullible and delusional the left is. What I did is I faked being a faker, he said. I pretended to be a pretender. But yeah, well, that's right. The thing is, like, people don't want to admit that he's correct because it makes you insensitive. But what he's saying is, like, logical.
Right.
It's logical. And October,
pretending to be a pretender, it's such a great line.
Well, it's funny. I have so many men in dresses telling me in videos where I'm a man in a dress that I'm just a mentally ill man in a dress. And it's like, bingo, you finally get it. You're all just mentally ill men in lipstick and dresses. Thank you for making the point for us that we've been trying to explain to you for 30 years. You're all just mentally ill men in dresses. It doesn't make you a woman. And so every kind of accusation that they lodge against me, I just turn back on them and I go, exactly. I'm just a crazy guy in a dress. And at no point did I magically become a woman. There's nothing transformative about saying you're a woman when you're a man. You're just a man saying you're a woman. If you hack off your dong, you don't become a woman. You're just a man who hacked off his dong. If you're a man who says their gender identity is female, you don't become female. You're just a man who said his gender identity was female, which makes you a trans-identified man. And so I think words are important. I think reality is important. And it's just kind of funny to hold a mirror up to these people's faces and let them see that I am their reflection and that they are nothing more than just a man in makeup. And that's what I was trying to do with my posts.
Trump did say in his that he looked right into the camera and he's like, hey, everyone is born perfectly the way they are. He said something like that. Everyone's born into the perfect body that is them. And it was these types of things, although I feel like I'm living in a fucking South Park sketch.
I know. And when you look at how every other thought disorder and mental illness is treated, you understand how weird it is that we carve out this one exception for so-called gender dysphoria. Now, gender identity was invented by John Money, who was a pedo doctor who forcibly transitioned children. So gender identity is the birth child of a pedo doctor, but people hold up gender identity like it's this amazing thing that we all have to, put up on a pedestal. And it's not. It's just a fictitious. It's just an invention of this deluded doctor's mind. And at no point does gender identity trump sex. You're free to say, I think gender identity is real. You're free to say my gender identity is female, but at no point does that trump sex. And it's certainly not operative when it comes to whether you're a man or a woman. And so I just think it's interesting that this fiction of gender identity has gained so much traction in the world when we have clear biological differences between the sexes.
We have very prominent pedophiles in society
Woody Allen, yeah.
Woody Allen, Macron's wife was a pedophile. She started fucking him when he was 15. Yep. Harvey Milk, the guy, the famed
congressman,
city councilman in San Francisco who was shot and killed when Moscone was killed. Just straight, didn't even hide it. Just a straight fucking pedophile, and he's a fucking hero to the gay community in San Francisco. Sean Penn played him in a movie. Of course, they don't talk about that in the movie, but you go to his fucking wiki page and they don't even hide it. I mean, they don't call him a pedophile, but they say, he's dating, 14-year-old boys.
Well, and it's just as, bad as people that, Barack Obama holds up George Floyd like he's Martin Luther King's the
Right.
third. And this guy is a fentanyl meth addict that was a career criminal that loved to rob pregnant women at gunpoint. And people act like he's, the second coming of Christ. And so it's very interesting to see the icons of the left. And I think it's an indictment on how delusional and disgusting and nefarious they are, that they're just terrible people, and a lot of them are pedos, so it's not a surprise. And Candace Owens just did a great documentary on Macron's wife that is like 2 years in the making, and people should check it out. I think it's pretty thought-provoking.
Yeah, she's claiming that not only so obviously she was 39 and he was 15. Then she claimed that it's really a dude.
Yeah.
And then she said, I just saw a fly go into my coffee. And then she's saying that it's the dad. It's Macron's dad.
Yes.
That he's fucking married to his dad. And I respect the fuck out of her, but it's like,
it's wild, man. It's a little wild. Yeah. It's a little wild, but the stuff, I haven't gone fully into it. I know she relies on the research of a specific person, but it's very thought-provoking and interesting to see. And there's no doubt about it that Macron's affair with his school teacher is definitely weird. Whether she's a man or not, I don't know. But
so I think probably, I mean, I'm not a 39-year-old woman, but something seems off with the radar. Like as a 52-year-old man, I would never, there's nothing in me that's attracted, no matter how attractive they are, to a 16-year-old girl. They just look like girls to me, no matter what. It could be the body of a woman. There's just something in my biology that's like that. It's not, you just know, you know what I mean? You just know those are kids. Like there's just something that hasn't matured in them that doesn't make them viable. And I don't understand how a 39-year-old woman could be attracted to a 15-year-old boy.
Well, the alphabet community is really weird too, and I'm still waiting for so-called minor attracted persons to be added to the LGBTQIA mafia. And I feel like the minor attracted persons would fit right in with the T's because they're both have a sexual fetish that's weird and creepy. And most LGBs, as me and you have discussed, want nothing to do with the T's or the Q's. And I think the T's and the Q's should join the minor attracted persons. So these people are mentally ill. They suspend reality. They don't live in reality. And I think the deeper you get into that weird culty world, especially with Hollywood elites and everything, it's just natural that you're going to end up with these pedos. So be on the lookout. I'm sure the P's will be added to the LGBTQIA mafia pretty soon. So
there was a post, like a comedy post, and it said, would you rather have your kid babysitted by Nazis or transgender men? And it was like 94%, would rather have a Nazi watch their kid, which I completely agree. It's a tough decision, but like, it's not even a question for me. Like, no, I'm not leaving my kid alone with a man who wants to dress up as a woman in order to fucking ejaculate. But,
and why are we celebrating mental illness? We don't celebrate mentally ill people with body dysmorphia that think they should hack off a limb. We don't celebrate people with schizophrenia that think they're being chased by the CIA. We don't celebrate anorexic people that think they're fat and obese at 60 pounds. We don't celebrate any of this. We disabuse them of their delusion through cognitive behavioral therapy, and we fix the fallacious thinking that's leading to their distress. The one and only exception that's been carved out in the history of thought disorders is putative gender dysphoria. And that is the only place where we make an exception, where we actually indulge and entertain the delusion. We don't only indulge the delusion and entertain it, we tell everyone they should celebrate it and applaud it and put it on a pedestal. And I'm sorry, but that's noxious thinking. We don't put anorexia on a pedestal. We don't put schizophrenia on a pedestal. We don't put body dysmorphia, which is almost identical to so-called gender dysphoria, on a pedestal. So why do we do it with this? And so, no, we don't want mentally ill people babysitting our kids, and there's nothing controversial about it. As a Jewish person, I'd rather have a Nazi babysitting my kids.
Well, it's interesting, just to push back on you a little bit there. We do, we celebrate anorexia in a really weird way. Did you see? I turned on the Oscars. I watched probably like I turned it on like 5 different times for 5 minutes, and there's a lady named Ariana Grande.
Yeah, she's disgusting now. She used to be so hot.
She's clearly anorexic. She clearly has a fucking severe eating disorder.
And mentally ill liberals are celebrating it.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Let me see if I can pull up this picture of her. And this doesn't even do it justice. But there were a handful of women there who went up on the stage. There was a black woman who went up on there. What TV show was that black woman in? Haley? Lioness? No, but the black woman. What Lioness? And there was another woman from the show Lioness. And it was like so clear. You know when you can tell someone has an eating disorder by their shoulders start to become emaciated?
Collarbone, yeah, for sure.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? And what I'm guessing what happens is these women a month before the Oscars, they start starving themselves is what I'm guessing.
Well, she's looked like that for the last year since she was doing the Wizard of Oz remake. Her and her co-star both have become what looks like severely anorexic. And it's really sad because Ariana Grande was my crush when I was in college. She used to be really hot. And now she just looks like this emaciated albino. She's even lost like the pallor of her skin is a totally different color than what it used to be. But look at old pictures of Ariana Grande. She used to be absolutely drop dead gorgeous. It's really sad what's happened to her. Again, liberalism and wokeism is a disease. It's a cancer and it rots you from the inside out.
Under the guise of being compassionate and and being fully accepting.
Well, and I always say, Savon, there's nothing kind and compassionate. A lot of people lodge that accusation at me and they say, oh, big deal. All you did was show that the left is kind and compassionate and accepting of everybody. And I always say there's nothing kind and compassionate about letting men invade women's spaces. You're not kind and compassionate if you give a schizophrenic person a gun. You're not kind and compassionate if you give an anorexic person liposuction. You're not kind and compassionate if you tell a gender confused person that's a man that they're actually a woman. There's nothing kind and compassionate. You're just a liar. You're just a fake. And you're harming women and children by indulging this delusion. And it's especially noxious because it's involving kids. Nobody gives a shit if a man wants to put a dress on, call himself a woman, and entertain that delusion. We don't have to entertain it, but the second you tell us you need our forced participation in your delusion, we're going to push back. The second you start bringing this into elementary schools and trying to recruit little kids into your gender cult, we're going to start pushing back. And so at the end of the day, Savon, nobody cares if you want to believe in this fiction of gender identity, if you want to throw a dress and lipstick on and call yourself a woman, but don't demand our active participation in it. Don't tell us we have to applaud it, and stop trying to recruit our children into your mutilation cult. And it shouldn't be a shocker to anybody that we feel that way.
Brianna, she's come out and talked about her weight, and she said she's the healthiest she's ever been right now. Well, man, the lack of muscle and the emaciated look of the shoulders, she could have fooled me, but maybe I'll take her. That's my black name, Save On. Everyone knows that. Save On. Save On. You were talking about I had a guest on yesterday, Greg Glassman, who comes on every Wednesday, and he said this to me before, and yesterday he brought it up again on the show, that the problem with these people, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, is they have no values. All they're trying to do is be liked. And so they just chase whatever they think it is that will make them like. So they're just looking around. There was a clothing company called Noble, and they were all about the tranny stuff and gender affirming care and just accept everyone. And every post was gay pride. And now I'm seeing that they sponsor Dave Portnoy's podcast, which what did he say? He said that if you wear a size 6 shoe and skinny jeans, you probably deserve to be raped. And I'm like, how the fuck do these people swing? I'm fine with Dave saying that, but I would never say that. I don't think anyone deserves to be raped. I'm not judging them for it, just like I'm not judging the trannies. But these brands, they just go, and these people just go whatever's cool. They just want to be liked. They have no values.
A lot of people, that's such a great point. A lot of people ask me, Josh, why do you think this is so popular? It's easy. I've watched my niece is trans now, she says. So she says she's a man. And I've watched over the years what happened. And basically everyone at her high school got a ton of attention the second they said they were gay or lesbian. So people started saying that. Then her friend group realized they could say they're non-binary and gender fluid, which is meaningless, and they would get more attention. Then they realized they could say they're trans and they get a lot of attention. So what I think is, in this day and age, there's this existential vacuum where people lack a sense of purpose and meaning. You can find a sense of purpose and meaning if you join this cult, because this cult celebrates you. You automatically belong to 3 victim groups the moment you go from a cis man to this genderqueer trans woman. And so it's very easy, by just making a simple statement, to join this cult. You belong to 3 victims groups. The public has to celebrate you. You have unfettered access to little kids, and everyone thinks you're awesome and amazing. And so I think we have just incentivized these people to join this cult because it makes them feel special. And I think you hit the nail on the head with it. People have no sense of purpose and meaning. They suddenly find it in this group that everyone's forced to celebrate it. So why don't they join it? Hey, look, in 2025, who wants to be a cis, straight, white male? Nobody does. So you can shave your beard off, put on some lipstick, say you're a woman, and suddenly you're the coolest thing ever. It's in vogue. It's a trend. It's a fad. It's going to fade away. We're going to look back at this time and go, I can't believe we actually encouraged this and put our imprimatur on it and countenanced what's going on. And so I think it's a shameful time. And like you said, I think it's a disgusting, desperate attempt to just be liked. Everyone wants to virtue signal. And it's funny, I have a therapist because I struggle with OCD. Thank God my therapist doesn't indulge my delusions, or I probably would have offed myself. Thank God he doesn't say, yes, you do have to touch that doorknob 500 times. Yes, actually.
It's okay, Josh. Just keep doing it. It's okay. I support you. You're fine. You're fine.
Exactly. And I
Don't
love
let
my
anyone judge you. Touch the stay up all night touching the doorknob. Don't let anyone judge you.
It's Josh, you know what? Your runaway thoughts, don't be ashamed of them. They're right. This world is dark and lonely, and you should unalive yourself, Josh. You know what? There is no reason to live, and you should just give up, Josh. Your thoughts are valid. Thank God he's not one of them.
It's your truth. It's your truth, Josh. It's your truth. Speak your truth.
And so he's awesome. And he told me, Josh, these people have OCD. Now, my therapist is not political at all, so I was shocked when he said this. He said, these people who virtue signal, they have virtue signaling OCD. They have to virtue signal about everything at every turn, all the time, because as you said, Savon, their desire to be liked. He said, do not underestimate their need to have approval, to gain others' approval, which is called conditional other acceptance, and what they will go through to get it. And so everything we're witnessing is just people's disgusting insecurities, their obsessive need to virtue signal to get other people's approval. And it's literally culminated and manifested in this whole LGBTQIA cult. That's all it is.
Pat, I see your point, but I'll give you some other examples. Nothing. He's being facetious. He's saying there's nothing there's nothing can think of that would make me more liked than going through my life as trans, gay, or mentally ill person. Sign me up for that suicide rate. He's basically saying, why would you take that route? It's so hard. But dude, people join the military. People join fucking the Crips. People join the Bloods. People join all sorts of fucked up groups to get accepted.
I'm not saying that every single person that does it is doing it for other people's approval or for acceptance. I'm friends with Buck Angel. Buck Angel is, a woman that admits they wanted to live as a guy, and they were unhappy and suicidal until they could live as a guy. Most people don't doubt that Buck Angel is earnest in his belief in what he says, that he feels more like a man than the biological woman she was born as. But that doesn't make Buck Angel the opposite sex, and it doesn't mean that all of the people we're seeing are earnest. Look, I have always said I believe 99% of these people have autogynephilia, they're malingering, or they have Munchausen syndrome, which is now known as factitious disorder, or Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is factitious disorder imposed on another. And I still stand by that. There are some people like Buck Angel here who are earnest in their belief. And then there are others who have a form of malingering or a form of factitious disorder who get off to feeling like they have this whole I'm trans gender dysphoria thing. But in no way am I saying everyone does it for attention. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying we're seeing a lot of people that are malingering. And on TikTok, there's been this trend for 3 or 4 years where people lie and say they have Tourette's. They lie and say they have autism. They lie and say they have DID, and it's all for attention. And there's a whole subreddit about these people that fake this disorder. I would argue that this whole trans trend is nothing more than this TikTok faking where people are claiming to have a disorder for attention. It's not unique to trans people. It happens across the board with these disorders that are being faked. These people are malingering. These people have Munchausen syndrome, and a lot of them, but not all of them, are doing it for attention.
DID, dissociative identity disorder. Jake Chapman, Josh. Great. Thanks, Jake. Mary Fuck Kill, Savon, Areola Grande, or Henry Cavill?
If Ariana Grande could get on a diet that's high calorie and gain a little weight, I would marry her.
Nice.
I would kill Henry Cavill.
Oh, thank you.
And then I would F Savon.
I get fucked. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. All right. Okay. Who does Josh's eyebrows? Mine are such shit to deal with.
Funny story. Hilarious story. So the person who was doing my eyebrows, I went to them a couple months ago and they said, guess who popped into my For You page? And I was like, who? And she's like, you did. And I was like, oh, they didn't know who I was. I had just started going.
Is that on a dating app, a For You page?
No, it's like Instagram and TikTok.
Oh, okay.
So I was in their Explore page and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry you had to see that. I assumed I was like in a dress or something. And she's like, yeah, I didn't know that was you. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I looked and I saw that on her business card, it said gender queer, non-binary esthetician. And I was like, they probably, if they watched any of my interviews, they probably hate me now that they know who I am. And so I left and I kind of had a weird feeling. I was like, I don't know, that was kind of weird that, you know, she saw me in her For You page. So I scheduled an appointment last week for my eyebrows and got a phone call from them. And they said, she'll no longer be doing your eyebrows.
Oh, man.
Typical liberal, typical leftist can't handle somebody who has a difference of opinion. And so they're just not going to offer service to me anymore. They are the cake baking bigots that they hate. The people who wouldn't bake a cake for the gay couple's wedding, they are those Karens. They are those people that they claim to hate. And they're just a bunch of whiny snowflakes. So actually I had my barber do my eyebrow to answer the question.
Wow. Yeah, that is the interesting thing, right? That's what gets to you accept them, you go back to them, you don't wish any harm on them. Nope. You don't even judge them. It's just when they cross the line and they're recruiting kids, and they're trying to get into women's bathrooms, like, hey, we actually don't care. We just want you can do what you want. That's the whole thing about the free country, but you just crossed the line. It's really no different if one person was like, fuck you, I'm going to run red lights. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, it would be the same thing. It would be the same thing as a straight person saying, I'm straight. And the liberal goes, okay, cool. I don't care. Yeah, I'm hetero. Okay, cool. And guess what? I want unfettered access to your kid. I want to talk to your kid about how I'm a hetero. I want to talk to your kid about my sexual habits. And I want them to read about it. The liberals would go, dude.
I want to talk to you about Christianity.
Right. They'd go, and your kid has to affirm Christianity every day at school. He has to look at a Christian book or the 10 Commandments. They would say, look, Josh, you're welcome to be straight. You're welcome to be hetero. Leave our kids alone. We're not going to affirm Christianity. We're not going to affirm your sexual lifestyle. And you're certainly not going to talk to our children about it. That's all we're saying to these people. And so just put the shoe on the other foot. And if they would do that, I think they'd understand where we're coming from.
It's cool that you're friends with Buck Angel. I really like that. Was there any part of the community that gravitated towards you? Was there any like cohorts or large groups? Because it would be kind of cool. That would have been a really cool approach if they would have embraced you and celebrated you.
Well, Buck is amazing. I have nothing but great things to say about him. I talked about him on Alex Stein's show during my live reveal because I ignorantly thought that Buck Angel was just part of the cult, and it took me to do some research to realize Buck actually bucks the cult. Buck is constantly speaking out about the cult and how they're going after children. So Buck is a crusader. Buck is an iconoclast. I have so much respect for what he's doing. Buck says, look, you can wish you were the opposite sex all you want. You can never be the opposite sex. Buck just asks that people respect his decision to live as the opposite sex because that's what makes him happy. And as you just said, nobody has a problem. Most people don't have a problem with someone living as the opposite sex. We simply don't need to be want to be told that we have to say that they are in fact the opposite sex, and we don't want them to recruit children. And so I really respect Buck. But to answer your question, other parts of the community that supported me, I can't think of anyone. My largest supporters obviously have been conservative men and women. I got some phone calls from, Tristan Tate reached out to me. Heather McDonald, who is a comedian, reached out to me. And a lot of people offered their support and said, hey, look, I feel exactly how you feel. And I think what you did is great. And so it's been nice to kind of see that support that's come out. But there's really hasn't been any, besides Buck Angel, there hasn't been anybody that surprised me with their support.
See, this is where he's just making shit up, all bullshit. Josh, Pat, listen, Pat, brother, dude, I love you, dude. But he gave us just one example off the top of his head with the eyebrows, dude, and we've all seen it, dude. All of us conservatives have seen it.
I wish I was making it up. I literally wish that I was. I was worried about it too when I left the last time when she's like, yeah, I saw you pop up. And when I saw the business card, I'm like, why is this on a business card? Why does it say gender fluid, queer, whatever? Not is some nonsense. And I was like, if she watches even just one interview of me, she's going to hate me. And she must have watched at least one interview because she clearly isn't doing my eyebrows anymore. And she'd been doing them since the beginning of summer. So.
And you could have easily gone into your head and be like, fuck, she doesn't like me. I'm not going to sign up with her again. But you didn't. You went, you were like, nope.
I assumed she'd be mature and understand that I have a difference of opinion, and Josh doesn't think men can magically become women, and that's his choice. But instead, she decided to be a Karen and take the we're not going to bake you a cake approach that they accuse right-wingers of doing. So.
Pat, last time, listen, you haven't seen one example of a kid that's been asked to join Gentlemen. No, it's worse than not. They don't ask them. They tell their parents that if you don't transition them, your kid's going to commit suicide. It's worse. It's worse than being asked. They don't ask.
They have infiltrated the schools. They've infiltrated the curriculum. They portray
the hospitals, the pharma, the food,
Big Pharma,
everywhere.
YouTube Kids, Disney Plus, cartoons talk about it. I see ads aimed at kids talking about it. Totally inappropriate. Not okay. There's parents that have Munchausen syndrome by proxy that are convincing their children that they are trans when they're 4 or 5 years old. It's much more pernicious and much more insidious than what this person's suggesting. And that's why I think the cult's so dangerous, because they've kind of infiltrated it at this unconscious level.
Pat, all of us who have young kids, we all know the family and families of the kid who's 3 years old, the boy who's now a tranny. And the parents all say the same thing. You're like, oh, how did that happen? And they say, oh, we just want to follow his lead and let him explore and do whatever he wants. And it's like, well, that's weird because my kid doesn't want to do any math and just wants to eat cake all day. And I don't let him do that.
Savon, these kids we would have been told these kids were gay if it were in the 90s. We would have been told, look, the kid put on a dress because he's gay. We would have been told, look, the kid plays with Barbies because he's gay. Right. Now they're trying to convince the kid and us that the kid's trans and has this so-called gender identity. It's an anti-gay cult. It's a, atavistic cult. It's anti-science cult. It goes against everything we know, and that's what it is. So I mean, it really is. It's interesting that these kids would just be considered gay men if it were 30 years ago. Now we're being told that they're magically trans women. It's ridiculous.
This is the third word I've had to look up that you used. Atavistic, relating to or characterized by reversion to something ancient or ancestral. God, I love talking to you. You don't drop too many in there, just enough. And like sometimes my buddy Greg, he'll put like 3 words together. I don't know. I'm like, this motherfucker. Like that's like 3. I like, well, you drop 1 in there and I can kind of like feel around. 3 back to back. I'm like,
I feel like you end up people end up sounding it almost looks like they're just doing it just to do it. I try to use it when it actually fits. Like troglodyte, you know, sometimes that word fits, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, that's a good one. That one's actually enough people have used it where that one's starting to stick for me.
Yeah, it's becoming kind of a colloquialism. Something I realized I was saying wrong. I was saying circuitous, and it was circuitous.
Oh yeah.
And I kept saying circuitous, and I was like, God damn it, I sound like an idiot.
You know which one popped on my radar a few years ago that I saw like get a lot of use? I don't hear it very much anymore, but sycophant.
A sycophant? Yeah.
That one came on strong, yeah.
Yeah, and that's
use cock chugger. I use cock chugger. Stop chugging that guy's cock. That's the crew I hang with, but it turned into sycophant.
Well, and that goes back to what you're saying about people just, you know, these virtue signalers. They're basically just sycophants or sycophant. I'm probably saying it wrong. Sycophants on steroids. It's this overly obsequious sucking up that is disgusting. And so I started using sycophant a lot more, just kind of to refer to this obsessive approval seeking on the left. I think it's a great word, and that's why we're seeing it more.
Josh, does any part of you regret or think, "Fuck, was it really worth doing the tranny thing for 6 months?" Does any part of you like, man, fuck, this is a lot to untangle? You know what I mean? Well, it's like buying a dog and like you're 3 years into it and you're like, fuck, this is a lot.
That's a great question. I could give you a fake answer and be like, absolutely not. I don't regret it. You know, I stand by what I did. But dude, if I'm being completely honest, yeah, at times I do. I say to the people in my life, I wish I hadn't have done it. At times when, you know, the hate is so strong, or I start internalizing against my greatest efforts. I start internalizing the stuff I'm seeing online. I go, why did I do this? It's so stupid. Look what's happening now. All I get is hate. No one appreciates it. People are just, you know, sending me all this hateful stuff. Why did I expose myself to this level of hate? For what? And then they have to remind me, Josh, think about these messages you got from the mother saying, thank you for doing this. It means so much because I care so much about the world my daughters are going to grow up in. Think of all the messages you got saying that what you did kind of was the seminal moment in the turning of people's opinion against gender ideology. And so, yes, I doubt it. You know, every few days I go, was it worth it? Because only I have to suffer with the hate. Other people don't. They can come to my page, watch the funny videos, laugh, and go, oh my God, that's funny. He's hilarious. I have to deal with the blowback from it. And so at times I do, but if you were to ask me right now in this moment, do I regret it? Absolutely not. I felt like it had to be done. I think it was thought-provoking. I think it opened up a dialogue around an issue where we weren't allowed to have a dialogue. And so I'm glad that I did it, but at times it's hard and I don't want sympathy. I don't want people to feel sorry for me at all. But, you know, I am a real person. I'm not just somebody on the internet. I am a human being that, like everyone else, eats, goes to sleep, wakes up, goes to the gym, goes grocery shopping, goes out in public, wants to have relationships, has friends, wants to date. I'm a normal guy just living in Chicago. And so imagine having millions and millions and millions of people knowing who you are and hating on you. It's hard, but I don't regret what I did. I just think it kind of comes with the territory. No one forced me to do it. I decided to do the troll, and I knew ahead of time that I was going to get hate for it. So it's not surprising. It's just something I'm going to have to live with.
Listen to your cohort of friends. You guys are all fucking weirdos. Alex Stein, Buck Angel, Tristan Tate, the group isn't it kind of funny? You'll be friends with fucking anyone. Scott Pressler. These are all
Tim Pool. Tim Pool's been a great friend.
Yeah, he's not so weird. He's intense, but the rest of you guys have like gone out and like like Pressler's really, and by weird I don't mean like officially weird, but I mean from outsiders. Like Pressler's a gay guy in the conservative movement. That's fucking like weird, you know. Just stereotypically speaking, Alex Stein puts himself out there in the craziest ways. He's a like a thespian political activist.
Yeah.
Buck Angel, what a generous man to like spend that, or woman. He was a woman that turned into a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lives as a man, but he admits he's biologically a woman. Yeah. Because he's sane and he has common sense. Yeah.
And then you have Tristan Tate, who's, you know, the uber macho, like, hey, these are the roles that, you know, we best flourish in as a species, right? The man guards the front of the cave and the woman's fucking nurturing the kids. And it's just amazing to me, the short-sightedness. Like if I was a full-blown like tranny, I'd want to get in your circle. Like I'd want to know all, you know what I mean? I'd want to know all those people. There should be someone who disagrees with everything you say and be like, but I'm going to be best friends with Josh.
I want to debate people that disagree with me. I want to be exposed to differences of opinion. John Stuart Mills wrote On Liberty, and what he said in that book is something most intelligent people agree with, which is the way to get rid of and eradicate false beliefs and false ideas is to expose them to the light of the truth. You don't get rid of false ideas and noxious beliefs by pushing them underground or by censoring them. It's freedom of speech that efficiently deals with false beliefs. It's the marketplace of ideas, which is the best place for false beliefs to be controverted. And so I really am a firm believer in freedom of speech and debating people that have a difference of opinion with me. And I think it's important to understand that we can have a difference of agree to disagree, have a difference of opinion, but not hate each other for it. And that's the issue I have with the left. I think it's why Tim Pool left the left. I think it's why
he was a lefty.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Tim Pool is a huge lefty. I think her name is Lindy Liu, just left the Democratic Party. She's been very vocal speaking out against them because they
Anna
are
Kasparian from the Young Turks. She had that dick rub between her butt cheeks, and that fucking
a hobo tried to essay her in San Francisco.
Didn't try.
Cenk Uygur turned from the left. Bill Maher turned from the left.
I don't know. I'm not giving Cenk and Bill Maher. Sorry, Josh.
But they're outspoken and critical of how the left can be a cult. It operates like a cult, and they are not. Cenk was very strong on this. The left lost the election because they are unwilling to have an open dialogue with people about issues. Cenk said, even though I disagree with the right, I respect that they are willing to talk with me. And he said that is a lot more than I can say about the left. And so it's this kind of anti-free speech, monopoly on speech, Orwellian-esque thing that kind of surrounds the left, which is why I dislike it. And I think so many other people dislike it and are leaving it in hordes because it's just so anti-free speech. And so anyways, I love free speech. I love having dialogues. I don't need anybody to agree with me. I don't need anybody to second what I'm saying. I just think it's important that we have discussions around important issues like, is a man who throws on lipstick a woman? It's important that we be able to talk about that.
Yeah. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, let me show you this clip the other day. I honestly I don't know how old this is, but regardless, it's pretty tragic. This is from Australia. Australia released a woke commercial encouraging female athletes to let men compete. This is paid for by the fucking Australian government. And it's a dude. And it's kind of funny that they use an Aboriginal dude.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Is that real? Is that a real commercial?
It says the unsaid says a lot. vic.gov.au the unsaid.
Well, if it's .gov, it's real. So that is a real commercial paid for by their government. Now, their government, Australia's government, along with the UK, along with New Zealand, is one of the worst and most, and Canada is one of the worst and most woke governments in the world. And so people in Australia, actually, to answer your earlier question, the most surprising group of followers and supporters I've gotten are Australian women. One of the first people to ever interview me after the reveal, it was within 24 hours, course, was Sal Grover. Sal Grover is the founder of Giggle. Giggle is a female-only networking app. Giggle and Sal Grover were sued by a man in a wig named Tickle, who tried to join the female-only networking app. And when Sal Grover kicked this perverted man off her women's only app, he sued her. So now there's a court case in Australia called Tickle versus Giggle. And Giggle lost to this man in a wig who said, I'm a woman. And the high court there in Australia said sex is changeable. Now we've seen this progression from gender, this fictitious idea. Gender is changeable. Now they've progressed to saying sex is changeable. So Sal Grover is a pioneer. She's an icon in Australia, and she represents kind of this pushback against this woke government in Australia. But this government in Australia is one of the worst. And so I'm not surprised to see that commercial. People are disgusted by it. And even J.K. Rowling has spoken out against though that there are ads, health ads in Australia that have men posing as women in these female health ads. I mean, what woman wants to watch a man in a female-oriented health ad posing as a woman? It's a joke. It's a clown world.
It makes me feel so inclusive. I want to read something to you. Dictatorial leader, suppression of the opposition, social hierarchy, taking away the needs of the individual and giving them to groups based on race. Do you know what those are the characteristics of?
A cult, and so is secret or special knowledge, which is something only the leader knows with no evidence. And I would say the trans cult is one of the worst cults because they claim to have this secret knowledge, which is that men can magically become women. And you don't know why, but just trust us, because there's this fake thing we made up called gender identity. And so I think those are all characteristics of a cult, but you can correct me if I'm wrong.
That's the wiki page for fascism, taking away the rights of individuals to give them to groups. Dictatorial leader, meaning put your mask on and take your drugs. Suppression of the opposition, that's the media. Not being able to say that when I got suspended for weeks, saying exercise and diet, going against WHO guidelines, I wasn't allowed to say that that's the best way to hedge against all sickness. And a social hierarchy based on race.
Wow. So they're the
That's
fascists.
the fucking wiki page. That's the wiki page for the first fucking paragraph.
You know, projection, they are always the thing that they accuse conservatives and libertarians of. If they're accusing you of something, that's because they feel guilty about being that thing. So it's interesting how we're always accused of being these fascists, but they literally fit the dictionary definition of a fascist. Christians are always accused of belonging to a cult, but when you look up the characteristics of a cult, the LGBTQIA people actually fit the definition of a cult better than Christians do. And so it's just very interesting that they're always the thing they accuse other people of.
Wild. All right, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Great show. Love having you on. I'll be watching on the 18th on Blaze. Tell Alex Stein I said hi. And you are absolutely one of my favorite guests. I'm glad you're alive.
Thank you so much, dude. Hey, I really appreciate that. Sorry for the scare and to anyone else.
Not a big deal. I love living life. I enjoyed the ride, brother.
Anyone else out there that was concerned or, distressed by it, I apologize. I totally understand why you'd be upset, and you have the right to be upset. I just had to do what I had to do to protect me and my family. So,
all right. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Ciao. Josh Seiter, really nice of him to come on this morning. Pat Lang, thank you for great conversation, engaging, and I will see you guys in just a minute. Thank you to Two Brain Business supporting the video contest. 200 videos. I think that's the first time we've shown that one. That was loud. Yes, speak your mind, son. Oh, okay. Thank you for the heads up. Someone's outside in the yard cleaning the pool. All right. I found every once in a while I see people online I found Garrett Clinton. I found this is you know there's multiple dimensions going on here simultaneously, or what is it? What was the Spider-Man movie? Multiple universes, or what is it that's going on here? Multiple. There's like different realities. We're all in. Anyway, fuck that skid up. But I found Garrett Clinton online. Prison Clinton from the Clinton podcast. This is prison Clinton. I'm so sorry, Colleen. Before I did this bit, I was like, "Fuck, Colleen's gonna fucking be so angry at me." This is Clinton in an alternate universe. Multiverse. Thank you, Ernie. Multiverse. Yeah, this is Garrett Clinton in the multiverse. Check this out.
The new shit that the new generation be coming up with is just silly than a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Somebody came up to me and was like, "Oh, Mo, you know, it's so grateful and blessed you are to be off drugs." And myself, I know what it's like to be addicted to something. I'm like, "Yeah, what was you addicted to?" And she was like, "Sugar." I mean, sugar's just like cocaine. Correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't never seen nobody slide a knob for a donut. I ain't never been on a police chase and shit with 12 donuts in their back seat. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? Sugar's like cocaine. Bitch, you ain't sucking nothing for a donut. The new shit that the new generation...
Same kind of theme, right? Health and fitness. But just Clinton from the multiverse. No, I think it's fine if you go, Haley. I just think you're going to get there and it's going to be done and it's going to be, you know what I mean? I'm checking my text. I don't see anything. I didn't get any heads up, so I don't know what's going on. Seems a little early. That person's nothing like Garrett. Oh, shut up. It's just a short-haired black woman. Just shut up. I don't say that to you very often, Bernie. It was a great skit. I'll suck a dick for a donut. All right. Again, she don't suck dick. You know, we know Garrett doesn't do that. I just saw it and I thought, oh, it's Garrett Clinton from the multiverse. That's Prison Garrett. Not Mama Garrett. That's Prison Garrett. Now it's Mama Garrett. Jesus criminy. Not one that was funny as shit or that was good. Thought it was great. Why is everyone picking on Pat? What's going on with Pat? Leave Pat alone. He's good. He's good. Oh, he's upset with what? I think I saw something. Pat saying that they weren't making transgender mice; they were curing cancer. Can't we just agree? Can't we just all get along? Can't we just say he was curing cancer in transgender mice? Manly Sevon equals Bill Grunler. Yeah, Grunler's me in the multiverse. Oh, thank you, Whitney. Thank you. I thought it was pretty funny too. I know my wife can get pretty defensive for me. I just was thinking when I played it, I was like, God, I hope I don't piss Colleen off. But it is pretty funny. Sugar, because you hear that all the time, right? Sugar and cocaine, same thing. Sugar's as addictive as cocaine. But that Prison Clinton's like, fuck you. No one sucked a dick for a donut. I was like, oh, that's a good point. That's a strong argument. I need to send that. You know who I need to send that to? I need to send that to Karen Thompson, actually. If I can find, I don't know what I did with that. Prison Clinton. I guess what I don't know what happened with the semifinals. A workout was leaked. This Heavy Isabel thing that Froney's talking about. What happened? Did that actually leak? I went over to the barbell spin and he just said it was announced, but did it leak? Was it on accident? Oh, I've snorted both. Oh, sugar and cocaine. Hey, listen, Pat, here's the problem. Anything like you could say whatever, however much you think Trump lied, the fact checkers lie twice as much, dude. And you have to agree with me on that. The New York Times, Reuters, and they take everything out of context, and the spirit of all their fact checking is complete bullshit. I've given you the example fucking many times when they said doctors were making. There was a report on Instagram or somewhere. Someone in the news says doctors were making $20,000 to $60,000 a year by giving kids injections, and they said false. And then you click on the false and you look, and it was actually 40 to 120,000 they were making. But you had to go 3 pages in the article to find that. And so if they're doging people, and you know someone gets something wrong, but who knows? Did Trump lie about the transgender mice or not? I don't know. But if your source was the New York Times or Reuters or the BBC or CNN, like they lie at 10x the pace. Listen, the premise of the people you're getting your fact checking from, I think, Pat, remember this: they're the ones that think that getting into school based on merit is racism, and they think that letting people in by race is not racism. And at that point, it's like, dude, we're done. Pat, it's just me, but I hold the most powerful man in the world to a higher standard than fact checkers. Yeah, good. I agree with you there. All right. 1-1. And Pat did point out to me the other day that Trump was the one that signed the trade agreement that we currently have with Canada and Mexico that he's poo-pooing. And I did not want him to be right, but he is right. I was like, there has to be a nuance to this. Someone must have changed it. I just kept digging and digging. I was like, no, they must have changed something. I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. Hey, I went to this water park in Phoenix yesterday called Revel, and it was pretty wild. You want to hear a crazy story? I don't know if I'm allowed to tell the details of the story, but I didn't tell you guys I was going to a water park, right? Did I tell you guys I was going to a water park yesterday in the show? Because for the last week, Greg's wife Maggie's been like, hey, when you come, we're going to go to this water park. It's not a water park with water slides. It's a water park that has this giant pool. Bye, babe. Bye, boys. Have fun. I went to this. Make them eat their eggs before they do anything stupid. Okay. Ari staying? Oh, okay. I'll hook Ari up. Maybe Ari and I will go for a walk, and I'll walk him to the mall or something. It's a water park that has a giant wave pool. It's a giant fucking wave pool, and people surf it. And Maggie's been telling me, hey, I got a membership at this water park called Revel in Phoenix. It's brand new. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah. And we were supposed to go yesterday morning. And right when this show was done, Eaton Beaver called me. I didn't even know the motherfucker had my phone number. It pops up on my phone, Eaton Beaver. I go, hey, dude, what's up? He's like, hey, sorry to bug you. I'm like, no, not at all. What's up, dude? And he said, hey, my buddy's the CEO of a water park in Phoenix. I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah, it's a giant wave pool. And I'm tripping. And I go, what's the name of it? And he goes, Revel. I'll connect you right now through text to the CEO. So when you go there, you can get a little love. And I call Greg's wife, and I'm like, hey, are we going to the water park today? And she goes, well, I'm having trouble. It's a brand new park, and I don't think they have all their shit in order yet. And I keep calling the front desk to schedule times for the kids to surf, and I can't get contact there. And I said, well, one of my callers who was listening to the show, this is a podunk podcast. It's not like this is fucking, this isn't like a big podcast. I mean, it's big in the world of podcasts. It's big, but it doesn't have a fucking lot of listeners. I mean, it's probably a 1%, top 1% podcast in the world, but not. I mean, the top 0.5% are 100 times bigger. It's just crazy. And so he connected us, and we got there, and Everything was hunky dory. We got in the park and fucking shit was perfect. Yeah. God model coincidence, I think not. Yeah. I'm telling you, that's what I mean. It's just what are the chances that I'm in Phoenix, that Eaton Beaver knows the CEO of that place, and it's the same place that Maggie wanted to go to? Tell you those stories all day. My girlfriend and I are moving to Phoenix next year. So which part of that's a lie? That you have a girlfriend or that you're moving to Phoenix? Kenneth DeLapp. Only took 4 years to gain something from having a show daily. Should I put up episode 1 and 2 of the behind the scenes today just for an hour or 2 hours? You can watch both of them in 2 hours. I should call Susan and ask him if that's a good idea. I want to get them out to you. Episode 2 and 3 are even better than episode 1. Rambler just has an AI girlfriend. Oh. So then I was at the water park and there was a guy there and he's working on a computer sitting at a table. They have a big, huge, sweet bar that overlooks this giant wave pool. Big bar, huge bar. All sorts of those high top tables. And there's a guy there working on his computer and Greg starts chatting him up and he's a lieutenant or something in the Air Force or some shit. He's someone in the Air Force and he's there working. And we start talking. And I say to him, it was pretty amazing. I'd never heard this line in my 52 years. I shook his hand. I said, well, hey, thank you for everything you do. And thanks for saving the world. And before I can even finish saying the word world and thank you for saving the world, do you know what he said? Just like, bam, that fast. He said, thank you, sir, for saving the world. What did he say? Twist, John Woolley's the CEO of the water park. That'd have been awesome. What did he say? I said, thank you, sir, for saving the world. And as I duh. Amen. No, close. Close. You're worth it? Nope. Come on. One of you Bible beaters knows what he said. Come on. Come on. That's what heroes do? Nope. Come on. One of you Bible beaters knows. He said, thank you for saving the world too? No, that's what he should have said. He said, Yahweh. Nope. Nope. Man, I'm gay. Nope. Nope. He may have been, though. It was him. Yes. Yes. Now you're getting close. Only God saves. He says, Jesus already did that. I hadn't even finished saying the word world. I said, thank you for saving the, and he just said, and as I'm saying world, he said, Jesus already did that. I was like, damn. That's a dude who's on top of his game. And there were like 10 other people around us when we were talking, like who were talking to him also. And Joseph Ramirez, yeah, definitely gay. I don't even know if anyone else caught him saying that. But it was pretty cool, right? Thank you for saving the world. Jesus already did that. I can't even say it as fast as he said it because I'd have to say 2 words at the same time. Did he finger me? No. Solid follow-up question, David. Solid. I know what you wrote. You don't need to write it twice. Save on. Save on. Save on. That was great that he called me. Say he's the only one because Josh and I connect. Is telling a random person you don't know religious shit on par with telling them you're gay or trans or unsolicited? I don't know. I don't care if someone tells me they're gay or trans. I know you weren't asking if I care, but I don't know if maybe it's on par. I was telling anyone anything. Hi, I have a podcast. I'm trans, and Jesus hasn't saved me. I dedicate this next story to Jake Chapman. Welcome to San Francisco. At one point, the most popular vacation spot in the world at some point in my lifetime. Here we go. I know what you're doing, Trish. What are you doing today, Savon? Savon. Going to the hood. Hang out with the brothers with an A. It's today's Savon's day.
To try to ask this individual why he is urinating in public. Excuse me, sir. Hi. We're with ABC News. My name is Leanne Melendez. I wanted to ask you,
Do you think that it's, listen, I know I get accused of being sexist and maybe it's times like this that I think maybe people are right. I don't think a woman should be doing this story. I don't think a woman should be going up. I mean, no women are urinating in public, or very few. I don't think a woman should be doing this story. I don't feel safe with her doing it. Okay, so maybe I'm a little sexist. Here we go.
realize there are public bathrooms upstairs, but you choose to urinate here. Could I ask you why?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you?
Yeah.
Why do you urinate here?
He just simply walked away. The stench in this section of Portsmouth Square is intolerable and offensive. Years of public urination have left their mark on this now corroded pole. When we looked below, we discovered the source of the foul smell. Men urinating in a barren space of the park home to dozens of rat burrows. This is not a designated pissoir, those French public outdoor bathrooms.
That was a French bathroom. Did you see that? That was like a post office box. You just pull your dick up to in France and you pee in it. Was that legit? What was that thing called? A Francois? Remind me to look that up.
In fact, Portsmouth Square has bathrooms opened to the public only a few feet away and maintained by recreation and park crews. There is no semblance of privacy here or shame. There is so much accumulated urine that on one corner, there is moss growing on the top. The San Francisco Health Department would not tell us if this represented a health issue for the community because they say they've never received a single complaint. Danny Seiter is the new supervisor for District 3, which represents Chinatown.
So what can we do to stop it?
Yeah, I think there's two things. I think we actually have to look at making sure that our existing facilities, our restrooms are in good shape, that they're not closed, that people know where they are with signage and with good lighting. And then on the other side, if people are doing this, the park rangers need to make sure that they stop that, whether it's a verbal warning at first or maybe even up to a citation.
We asked police if they have ever cited anyone here or anywhere in San Francisco. Police told us at this time they don't have this data compiled.
We're going to try to ask this individual why he is urinating.
The comments are crazy. I've been to San Francisco 1,000 fucking times. I've never had an issue finding a bathroom. Public restroom in San Francisco is a huge issue. Oh, buy something at a Starbucks and go pee. This is kind of reporting is absolutely deplorable. Why don't you investigate why there are not enough public restrooms throughout the city? What the fuck? That is what she's doing. You can't extrapolate that from the reporter. You're a fucking idiot. Stop charging people to use public restrooms. Public restrooms are honestly known for being dirty. Of course they are. I don't understand why they don't get arrested when it's literally a health hazard. Yep. I agree. I don't know if arrested, but a ticket. When I went to college, if you peed on a cop's caught you peeing, you got a ticket. Imagine going to school to be a journalist, and this is a story you put on shitty, or should I say pissy? I just don't like it that it's that woman. It looks like it could be someone's mom or grandmom. What was the name of that thing in France? Can you peeing in public in France? Peeing in public in France. Oh shit, here it is. Peeing in public in France. Along with the hot cuisine and chic fashion. There's another long-standing tradition in Paris that's decidedly less pleasing. Since before the days of Napoleon, the city of love has battled the odor scourge of less pipis savages or wild peeing. The widespread practice of public urination is technically illegal. What is this? What is this? How do I get past this page? Jeez. On National Geographic's website. Damn it, I can't. Google took me to a paid website to learn about pissing machines. What is this machine called? Oh, here we go. I found a video. Let me see if I can play this for you guys. Does Paris have a public urination problem?
And
It's rather stinky.
yet any of a pipi sauvage or wild pee.
Wild pee. It's everywhere.
Of course, peeing in the wild is wildly illegal. And yes, fines aside,
I set out to investigate.
Dans l'imaginaire qui ne mettent pas
It was born, and anything deemed dirty or
pur que
a bad reputation.
1981
C'est toujours les hommes.
anti-pee paint.
consiste à dire
Oh, look at
quand il y a
that
un
toilet.
Those relieving themselves. Open air urinals, mostly male behaviors. Measures against public urination have included anti-pee paint, which is supposed to splash
Look at that. Look at that machine. You just pee right there in front of everybody.
back at those relieving themselves. Open air
Look at that, an open air urinal. And it's a little planter box.
urinals and even an infamous set of flower pot-shaped urinals.
Il faut éviter cette solution qui consiste à dire quand il y a un problème quelque part, ben, on met un espace public.
To design, enable, or deter urinators in the wild. That's the theory Fuelin tested when he was hired by France's National Rail Service to lead their nudge unit, a team whose goal is to influence user behaviors with innovative techniques.
Donc, je peux vous montrer.
In 2019, they debuted a system of visual cues to stop people from urinating in train stations.
Oh,
They targeted well-known spots, mainly corners like this one, which felt secluded enough to attract those looking for a
that's secluded at the bottom of a staircase?
quiet place to relieve themselves. Rather than installing a urinal, the team decided to alter the place's look so that suddenly it wouldn't feel quite so safe to unzip right
Europe. There's a lot of public peeing in golf. Yeah, I could see that. Ever had a shit in a urinal? No. No. I have not. I did not. Stevan, did you beat Holy Balls? Did I beat Holy Balls? Oh, did I beat Wooly? No. I think he got one. I got 150 and he got 180. I did not beat him. It was a victory for me though. The fact that I did it was pretty crazy. It was pretty fucking crazy. I'm pretty proud of myself. I fucking should give Wooly credit. I definitely would not have fucking done that workout if it wasn't for definitely there's no fucking way I would have done that workout if it wasn't for Wooly. Don't ask me about that again. I don't want to have to admit that again. There's no fucking way. I was truly terrified the whole time. Not the whole time. The first 30 seconds I was doing it, I was terrified. I was just so scared my back was going to go out. Then after 30 seconds, I didn't even think about it once, but actually probably more like 15. I was tired in like the first 15 seconds. I was exhausted. Man, it's time to clear out Gaza. It is time to kick all those people out of there. Every last fucking one of them. They got to go. They all have to go. These people were hidden in hospitals, people's homes. The whole country was in cahoots. It's not like some fucking rogue terrorist organization. The whole fucking country was in cahoots. They got to go. They got to leave. You got to leave. You got to leave. Time to go. It's time to. We're going to build the French Riviera there. Or Monaco. It's Monaco too. They got to go.
We'll take it on October 6th. Yes. So this was hell.
It was the worst thing that anybody can go through. One of the days they handcuffed one of the boys that was with us, and when he came, and he brought a cutter, and he cut his hand and smiled. They used to eat in front of us while they starved us.
You got to go.
It's a miracle.
That you're living.
Yes.
I was kidnapped on 7 October. My wife and my 2 daughters been murdered.
He was kidnapped on October 7th, and his wife and 2 daughters were murdered. Sorry, you got to go. It's not like one person did it. The whole country was behind it. They pay their citizens a fucking lifetime stipend for how many Jews they've killed. 87% of the fucking country was happy with what happened. You got to go. You can't live next door to us anymore.
Same day, I was held in captivity 491 days. I've been suffered there from starvation, violence, and humiliations daily. One time, they broken my ribs, and it was so hurt that I couldn't breathe for 1 month.
Yeah, you got to go. You can't. The stories. I don't care. Scoop them up and throw them anywhere. Just send to Australia, Iraq, Iran, any of the Muslim countries, anywhere they want. Take them to where they can go and just hate on people. London, the UK. I mean, the UK is fallen. UK's toast. Take them anywhere. They got to leave. They can't be there by. They can't be there anymore. They're done. You got to go. It's done. Bye. Nice having you as neighbors. I don't want to send any more money to Europe either. Like, fuck Germany. A buddy of mine who's German texted me the other day. He's like, "Hey, dude, it's worse. It's worse than you're even saying in Germany." He said it's so fucking bad.
That's clear. Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes, it is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher.
Yeah.
If you insult someone in the internet.
Why?
Because in internet, it stays there. If we are talking here face to face, you insult me, I insult you, okay, finish. But if you in the internet, if I insult you or a politician,
that sticks around forever.
Yeah.
If somebody posts something that's not true, and then somebody else reposts it or likes it, are they committing a crime?
Yeah, in the case of reposting, it is a crime as well, because
if you call someone a fucking asshole to their face in Germany, it's a fucking crime. And it's a bigger crime if you do it online. I know I've shown this clip before. I'm going to show you again. Like, fuck these countries. I don't want to send. I'm not interested in supporting any of these countries.
In Russia last year, 400 people were arrested for things that they said on social media. 400 people in Russia. Obviously, this country is very different. How many people do you think were arrested in Britain for things they said on social media last year?
Go on.
Take a guess.
I have no idea.
3,300.
Really? Arrested for what they'd said on social media?
Yeah.
Really? What sort of things get you
Well,
arrested?
one example I give in my show is there was a young woman from Liverpool called Chelsea Russell. Her friend was killed in a car crash, 19-year-old woman. And she posted the lyrics of his favorite song on her Instagram, the lyrics. And there was a rap song, so the lyrics contained several instances of the N-word.
That's negative.
Okay? She was arrested, prosecuted, found guilty, given 500 hours of community service and a fine, tagged, and for a year she was under 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew.
So you post the lyrics to Kanye West's song "Niggas in Paris" to celebrate your friend's fucking life or death, and you go to jail in the United Kingdom. Wow. Wow. But Jake, just so you know, it's not just your country. It's not just Germany. This is the city of Minneapolis, where Tampon Tim is governor of the state of Minnesota. What a fucking shit show.
Do you hear that? And we are not in the Middle East. We're in the US. It's Minnesota, Minneapolis. Phillips Midtown, the most dangerous neighborhood in Minneapolis.
Bad ideas never seem to die.
When I was in the Middle East and Syria, I think that would happen like 3 or 4 times a day. Over the loudspeakers, they would play Islamic prayer. That's fucking Minneapolis. What the fuck is going on? Have you heard that, Heidi? Have you heard the prayer music? Aren't you in Minnesota? You talk funny. Aren't you there? I got a liberal friend who's like, I don't understand what the big deal is. I'm like, hey, how would you feel if there was Christian prayer? Oh, I wouldn't like it. Hate Christians, but welcome everything else. Man, oh man. I think Minnesota's Congress is Republican. It's weird. Do I have that right? Do you know what the difference is between a CrossFit Games athlete and a CrossFitter? I'm going to show you. This is the difference between a CrossFit Games athlete and a CrossFitter. This is a woman with a broken arm. This is a woman with a broken arm. Where there's a will, there's a way. CrossFit Kinesis. Ariel here has been dealing with some serious wrist and hand issues. No shit. Despite not being able to do anything with her wrist and hand for the past month, she still showed up and modified workouts so that she could do something. If that's not the definition of grit, I don't know what is. Keep it up, Ariel. That's it. There you go. This is CrossFit. Games athletes are fun, but they're not like us. My back's fucking blown out. I still have too much ego to quit. Her wrist is fucking busted. She's got too much ego to quit. Great question, Bernie. And you know they can. Bernie's question is, can they publicly broadcast Muslim prayers within 2 blocks of an abortion clinic in Scotland? Yeah, of course they can. Carlene Matthews is a washed up games athlete and has a jacked up arm. She freaking rips through the burpees one armed. There you go. Was a CrossFit Games athlete. Was, is, was, is, was, is, was, is. Jake Chapman, I love Bernie. He believes everything he hears just like Sevi. The only, yeah. at least we hear stuff. At least our shit's not being censored. If you want to know anything, let me know. I'll put a bunch of newspapers in a box and send it to you, Jake, so you can see what's going on in the real world. Oh, shut the fuck up, David. We're coming to the second show of Jake Chapman this Saturday, 1 a.m. It's really Sunday, but let's just call it Saturday. Debbie Bassett Kansas. Not even close. I love Jake. Oh, she's a street parking coach as well. Oh, Carlene works for street parking? I didn't know that. Hey, listen, and you know, it's not. Of course, there's games athletes that are going to push through. You know, there's probably some listening to the show right now, and they're like, "Fuck you, we're all injured," and you know, maybe that's true too. 90% of them maybe are injured. They're just not bitching about it. Oh, here we go, Heidi. I'm confused. It's well known that games athletes train through injuries all the time. Pat Lang, I get what you're saying, Sevs. Thank you. I showed you the kid that I thought was retarded, that 13-year-old kid. Not retarded, crazy smart. Okay, Pat, you ready to fight? When Republicans see someone that's a black man, they see someone with black skin. When they see an Asian man, they see someone with Asian eyes. When they see a white guy, they see someone who has white skin. When they see Latinx, they see someone with brown skin. When Democrats see a black man, he's not a black man. No. First, they have to know what he's thinking. Because if your skin is black, but for some reason you don't think the way they're supposed to, you don't get to be a black man.
Are we actually in a place where the only way you can be black and stand with your people is to be a Democrat? Now, if that's where we are, we're the dumbest people on the face of the planet. And we're the only people in America who operate that way. You can be white and be a Republican or a Democrat. Hispanic and be a Republican or a Democrat. Praise the Lord. Whatever, and be a Republican or a Democrat. But if you're black, the only way you can be an authentic black person is to be a Democrat. That's stupid. And you know what it means? It means that explains why we spend half the time, or maybe even more, out of power. I've said for years, we need to operate politically, and I want to make this clear, in a way where both parties will compete for our vote. When one party knows that they're going to get your vote no matter what, you get nothing from that party. When another party knows that they're not going to get your vote no matter what, you get nothing from that party. So then you end up in no man's land. We are not married to the Democrat Party. People have a right to choose.
The liberals don't think you have a right to choose. The liberals don't think you have a right to choose. Matter of fact, they'll take away your black card.
And if you choose to be a Democrat, if you choose to be a Republican, if you choose to be independent, as I am, that doesn't make you more black nor less black. It means you're an American participating in the process. and God is on our side. Now, if we want to talk about whose side God is on, it's the Democrats who are pushing same-sex marriage. It's the Democrats who are pushing letting children get mutilated, little 8-year-old boys getting turned into girls. It's the Democrats who are 100% in their platform behind abortion and abortion rights up till the time of birth. If we start talking about whose side God is on, you got to dismiss most of the scripture to be a Democrat.
But preacher, those are isolated incidents. Pat Lang. Oh, you got to go? Bye, David. Nice seeing you. Douche. What the deuce? Will today's announcement get the lowest views of the 3? Correct. Correct. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, that is correct. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? So not only did the Froning podcast leak, I think they leaked Heavy Isabel. I don't know if that's what happened. I didn't read the comments after I asked you the question. But they also revealed that JR and Angelo, JR Howell and Angelo DeChico are fucking. Did you guys see that clip? Rich kind of let it out of the bag. Angelo and JR are a couple. I didn't see that coming. Thought I knew JR. It's a funny bit. JR and Angelo is Taylor and Bryson with good dental. Oh. 25.1. This is a great video. Moz versus Dan. This is so good. Look at these guys. 215, 217. Neck and neck. Neck and neck. I don't know where this is. CrossFit something. CrossFit Moz. Dan.
Dan, keep going. You've got 5 seconds. Oh, Dan!
First of all, and the wife yells at him, or some lady yells at him, why did you give up with 3 seconds to go? Just fucking ass pounding him. That guy was winning and quit. Hey, and that was crazy that he fell behind that guy, because I think, what if that guy would have dropped his dumbbell behind him? Dude, this is so good. This is so good. I love, I love the leave your ego at the door, but I also love just ego working out. I just love this. This is fucking crazy. Watch this guy. I think he dropped his dumbbell behind him, doesn't he?
Dan, keep going. You've got 5 seconds. Oh, Dan!
Oh, no, he dropped his front. Why did you give up with 3 seconds to go? I'd never give up with 3 seconds to go. I'm always going to finish. Alpha girlfriend. Hey, he was going to fail that rep. I think that's why he quit. I ain't hating. What the fuck? That woke douche? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I am going to ass pound him. Wow. 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 Hey, is that for real? He's a world-class scumbag and a fucking racist. Sorry. I got distracted by something. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break from the show. Give me a second. This is going to be fun. Wow. Wow. I'm not teasing you. I'm not teasing you. I don't mean to be teasing you. I worked out. Sevi look fit. Traps look jacked. I worked out like 3 times this week. Did the open, then I did a workout 2 days ago, and then I did a workout yesterday. I mean, yesterday was chill. I just did snatches with 25-pound dumbbell, but God damn. Vindicate, are you doing padded shoulder shirts now? Yes, this is the new Vindicate padded shirt. VNDK8.com. No, it's probably the Paper Street coffee I'm drinking. Probably make me. It's got fucking steroids in it. If you have to test for performance enhancing drugs, don't drink Paper Street coffee. Who is this? Performance enhancing drugs. What is this? Okay, I already did that. I showed you the guy from Egypt who did CrossFit and ended up in the NFL, or ended up going to Boise State. Sorry, not the NFL, college football. All right, I think that's everything I have. I think that's everything I have. Yeah, I guess we could finish with this.
Trump has done now? No, what? He's only made a deal with Putin to end the war in Ukraine. Wow, that's amazing. I know Trump's nuts on a lot of stuff, but that's really good news for Ukraine, isn't it? It's terrible news. It is? How? Putin could go on a rampage across Europe. It could be Poland next. Did he say that? No, but it's what everyone else said. Everyone else? Well, some in NATO have said it, and all the countries that have been pouring billions into the war. What about the fact that the war really began in 2014 under a secret US-led coup with the aim of putting military bases literally on Putin's doorstep as a part of the NATO expansion trying to get Ukraine into NATO, even though George Bush Sr. in the 90s had said that that would never happen? We don't like to talk about that. Okay, so have Ukraine at least been winning the war so far? No, they've been losing. I get it. You're upset with Trump because Ukraine should keep fighting because they still have the troops to win the war. No, they're actually running out of men. They're all getting killed. But if Ukraine will lose all of their men, then how will they win? The West need to keep sending support. We all have to stand with Ukraine. It's the right thing to do. I commend your ethics. So following your logic through to the end, when Ukraine do finally start to run out of troops, then we should start sending our own sons and daughters to the front line to fight Putin. No, we won't do that. But you just said we all have to stand with Ukraine? Yeah, I said stand with them, not fight alongside them. That would be suicide. So when you say standing with them, what you really mean is sticking the Ukraine flag on your Facebook profile and 100% not standing with them physically on the battlefield where it actually counts.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. You don't give a fuck if someone dies. Did anyone watch the Ian Carroll, I Am Carroll video on Rogan? I normally just watch Rogan clips that pop up on Instagram, but I might actually watch that entire podcast. I might need to watch that entire podcast. All right. I think my work is done here. I don't know if I have a guest tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Friday? Is tomorrow Kill Taylor? No, Saturday's Kill Taylor. Oh no, I no guest tomorrow. All right. Got a lot of work to do. I got to prepare for the show. Who's getting the ass pounding? I don't know if it's real. I just saw that someone I thought that someone crazy woke was participating in the in something public forward facing in the CrossFit community. And just if it is, I just want to. It's like, do you remember that chick that they had to fire last year because she was saying I think they had to get rid of two. I think they had to get rid of 2 people right before the games because Andrew Hiller exposed that they were racist. It's pretty wild. Isn't it funny? So here's the thing. All these people who are complaining to HQ about Taylor being homophobic, there's like a guy who's constantly talking about sucking his own dick or sucking other dudes' dicks. It's really hard to say that they're homophobic. And if everyone's and it's obviously just fucking around and it's just 12-year-old boy humor. He's a former drug addict and he's just emotionally just fucking up, I don't want to say he's not unhinged. He's emotionally or not even volatile. He's emotionally just really expressive. And he's fun. And if you're getting offended by his shit, anyone with fucking common sense will be like, hey, actually, you have it off. He's never like, hey, gay people shouldn't participate in the games, or he doesn't like old black men. There was the head photographer of the games last year was like, I hate fucking going places where there's fucking old white men or something like that. And then one of the other photographers was ripping on people who fucking did military service. Yeah, Taylor's just incredibly comfortable with the sexuality. Thank you. I'll go with that. I don't know if it's true, but I go with that. He drives a Subaru. It can't be homophobic. That's a good point. I'd like to see. Oh, you know who it is who's complaining. It's fucking Cooper Marsh. Just anyone at fucking Lab Management. The female athletes at Lab Management and Cooper Marsh. Like not complaining, fucking taking clips and sending them around. Like that somehow. Like, dude, you guys are gonna get so fucking wrecked. You're gonna drive your car right into a fucking brick wall. Dude, Hiller trains fucking Tyson Bagent and outed him on his fucking own fucking Instagram account. Like, do you guys see what's going on here? What was the quote I put on Twitter the other day? Hiller is the community notes for CrossFit. Taylor Self is the 12-year-old boy who just found his penis in CrossFit. Like, these are all just fucking amplified caricatures. It's fun. It's fun. It's fine. It's cool. Oh, these guys are such pussies. Cooper could at least call them out publicly and they're such pussies, dude. They're so fucking scared. And like I said, the only thing that's going to end up getting hurt is them. Meaning it's going to, when you do that shit, the only thing that gets hurt is you and your athletes. All of you fucking managers that are pussies, all you're doing is putting targets on your back or on your athlete's back. That's all you're fucking doing. Oh, by the way, I need to correct the record. I don't remember how I said it, but yesterday I was talking about. I need to correct the record. Yesterday I was talking about how Noble was this bastion of fucking moral authority. They were pure Black Lives Matter, which we know was just a fucking hate, fucking a psyop to fuck black people. They're pro outwad, which believes men should be competing against women in the CrossFit Games. They lie all the time and say trannies can't compete in the games. We all know trannies can compete in the games. You just got to do it in whatever you were born as. And which is funny, isn't it funny? They don't want to compete in what they're born as, but they want to allow men to compete where they're not born as. And hey, that, like, whatever your reasoning is, even though it makes perfect sense to me, like, those are just the rules. And now Noble is sponsoring a podcast. So they have all this, like, you know, pro fucking codependent of fucking crazy people and hating on black people, and under the guise of loving black people and somehow loving trannies and gays. Then now they're sponsoring a podcast, something over at Barstool Sports, where the owner of Barstool Sports said that if you wear skinny jeans and a size 6 shoe, you probably deserve to be raped. I think he said the word probably. And he meant it as a joke. It's like, you know, he said it, I don't know, 20 years ago. And I just, how does Noble decide where the line is? They don't care. They just go whatever is fucking popular. It's fucking popular to fucking do BLM and tranny shit. And now it's popular to fucking do rape women shit. Like, just whatever. How does that align? But anyway, when I said that, I was like, yeah, I'm starting to see a pattern here. And look at these fucking idiots who were affiliated with Noble. And I mentioned Katrin, and you know, she's got this husband who was on the 2003 Canadian junior hockey team. 22 dudes on the team, and 6 of them are now being charged, you know, 18 years or 20 years later for raping an unconscious girl. And you don't see Brooke Laxey you know, talking up about that, which is kind of like that's like a real issue. It's not some one of these made up bullshit CrossFit issues. And then I messaged Justin Medeiros, and I got some pushback saying, hey, Justin in no way supports anything bad that happens to law enforcement, and doesn't condone the actions of Noble being so fucked up. And I just threw him in the pile because I think he is still a sponsored Noble athlete. But I want to correct the record. Justin doesn't align with them, as from what I'm hearing, and he's just doing it for the cash and the free shoes. So there. I apologize for dragging Justin's beliefs into it. I guess it would be kind of like if I wore Carhartt, which forced all of their fucking employees to get the vaccine, or else they got fired. But saying, hey, I don't agree with that, but I still wear their shit, and they pay me to promote it. Which would be cool if I said that, right? Like, hey, just so you know, I love Carhartt shit, and they give my podcast $10,000 a month. But what they did for fucking to their employees, forcing them to get the vaccine or they get fired, is fucked up. I wonder what would happen to Justin if he said that. Like, fuck you guys and your BLM stance and your fucking hatred towards women and blacks. I don't give a fuck if it's Carhartt, but thank you. Dan Guerrero, Justin's one of the coolest athletes out there. Fine. Let you have the final word. Heidi, I wear a bunch of shit from China. Doesn't mean I like China. Yeah, but you can say that here. You're spending money there. You're not accepting money from them. I don't really love my husband, but I let him fuck the bejesus out of me with his friends because he's rich. Okay. Is Taylor doing 25.2 today? Oh shit, that's a good question. Did we do it last time after the show? That is a fucking God. I'm so fucking unprepared for today. Let me see what's going on. Let's finish on that note, because I think I have to drop a deuce. I had 3 cups of coffee this morning. Let's see what's going on here. Let's call him. Let's see if the phone works. Do you still have to push 1, or is that just because I'm old and I do that? Do you still have to do that when you call other area codes? I asked that earlier. Cool. You get credit. Cool. Fine.
So,
May I speak to Taylor Self, please? This is Sevon from the Sevon Podcast.
yeah, this is Taylor.
That's how my mom, when I was a kid, that's how I had to, when I called people, I had to do that, or else I couldn't use the phone. If my mom just heard me say, hello, is Taylor there? I'd always be like, hello, this is Sevon. May I speak to Taylor, please?
Word.
It's good, right?
I think we're post like telephone decorum in terms of, you know, where we're at in society. Maybe it's more like you FaceTime someone and you tell them to put their penis away, or like to stop wiping. You know, like that's the
right.
first thing you say.
Hey, are we doing a show today where you do the workout?
Yeah, I'm gonna schedule it for 3:40, just like last week.
Dude, I'm fucking pumped. I forgot about that show. I really had fun on that last show. Is JR and Bryson going to do it? Are JR and Bryson going to do it?
Bryce. Yeah, same thing. But it's same thing, and also the same thing applies to last week. If it's a workout that I can't do, then Bryson or JR will do it. Likely Bryson.
Okay. And hey, if you, I know you wanted to use the shut up and you want to do your sponsors, right? If you want to use the shut up and scribble overlay, we have to have Will or someone try to make a new one, or Bryson or someone. Okay. So that, because you know what happened is when we had that many people on the screen, it chopped off the top and the bottom. So we just needed like kind of a different overlay, like the shut up and scribble workout overlay. We have time.
All right, let me grab that and send it to Will and just pawn it off on him. I really like that idea.
Yeah, he might be pissed. He might be like, "Fuck you, I ain't your bitch." But whatever, let's try it.
Try it.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
That's it. I got to take a piss and shit, and then someone's like, "Hey, is Taylor doing 25.2 today?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I better call and check."
Did you have that fucking fake trans dude on the show again?
Yeah, I was really stoked.
How was that?
It was cool. He's really cool. He's smart as fuck. I really like him. He's really smart. He used like 5 words I had to look up.
How, like what? Give me an example.
Let me see. I think maybe putative, P-U-T-A-T-I-V-E.
P-U-T-A-T-I-V-E. What does that mean?
What does the word putative mean? It means commonly accepted or supposed. He used the acronym DID. It's like a dissociative something disorder. He used some word that started with an he used some word that started with an A that I didn't know. Adaptive, or I didn't know. I'm looking through my notes. I don't see it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to. You know what? I might just have this. Oh hell yeah! I'm fixing this overlay myself, bro.
Oh, all right. Fuck. Yeah.
I think so. Sick. I mean, I'm a little nervous for the workout.
Yeah, that's good. Me too. I'm a lot nervous. I'm nervous for you.
You know, hey, did I step over the line when I made that reel making fun of Wooly and you?
No, that was funny as shit.
All right, because I didn't want to like be like, "Ah, you lost." I wasn't like trying to rub that in your face. I was more so trying to call Wooly a fag.
Basically, and the only reason why I didn't repost it is just because I think I don't think that I suspect that dude has like no sense of humor, and so
Wooly, yeah, he basically does.
And like I want to give him a couple months to heal before we do another poll of him jacking off to Danny Spiegel. Like I want to give him a little like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want him to like.
You should do. I bet. I won't go there.
Hey, do you think he knows, without saying too much, about the infidelity in his circle of people?
Oh, you mean like marital infidelity?
Yeah. Don't say any names, but because I don't want to like fucking destroy three people's lives.
Think of his
but do you think he?
Because I like when you say infidelity, like fucking 6 different names pop into my brain, and I'm trying to think of.
Yeah. Do you
I
think?
don't know, dude.
Do you think? I just sent it to you in a text. Do you think he knows?
Yeah. No. You didn't have to. I came to the. I got it. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know, man. I mean, he seems like the kind of guy who like buries his fucking head in the sand.
Or I could see them talking to him about it and him just being really compassionate. Do you know what I mean? Or feigning compassion. Like, it's okay, it happens, you know.
I don't know, dude. How can you be compassionate? I don't know. I don't know how you could possibly be compassionate about something like that. And that's just me personally. You know, maybe
Yeah,
that's a personal
I feel like I
defense.
could be compassionate. Like if one of my friends told me that they were cheating on their wives, I feel like I could be a good sounding board for them.
Sounding board, or like would the first words out of your mouth be like, "You're a fucking piece of shit," and then here's what you should do?
No, I don't know if I'd be like, you're a piece of shit, but I'd be like, hey, dude, you fucked yourself, because now how are you supposed to? Why would you want to be in a relationship where you lied? Don't you want to fix that? And then you have to decide: do you tell the person, or you have to figure out, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Christian Kettler guessed Mike Halpin's wife caught him with Brian Friend. No, that. I mean, I haven't heard that.
Hey, Brian texted me and Lizzie yesterday. I wasn't sure what to make of it.
Was it? I'm assuming it was nice.
Yeah, it wasn't a dick pic or anything like that. Yeah, it was nice. It was definitely nice. I don't know. What's your take on that? Bro, like when I get a text like that from Brian, I like, you know, because I make fun of him, and definitely you guys make fun of him a lot. But like for whatever reason, dude, I just don't see him as manipulative as someone like Mike Halpin. So like it's hard for me to get a text like that and not be like, "Hey, dude, I hope you're doing well," you know? That's just me. It's just me.
Yeah, I don't take anything, and I don't mean this as a knock. I don't take anything he says as sincere. He's like I don't think a dog, when it sits down in front of me, really wants to sit down. It just wants a treat, and so that's how I take it after working. That's how I take it from Ryan, which is okay. But it is what it is. Hey, let me ask you this: going back to this infidelity thing, because someone just chimed in. What if the person's spouse was gay, and then you cheated on your spouse?
What do you mean?
So let's say Lizzie found out you were gay,
And she fucked a dude?
yeah. Does she get a pass?
Well, we wouldn't be fucking married anymore because I'd be fucking throating the dick on some dude.
I know, but you could be like, just want to keep her as like a beard or cover up. You know what I mean? So your family, and like, so me
Dude,
and
you're
fucking
going on another
me and Sousa didn't find out.
Dude? Where's this scenario coming from?
Because
dude?
look at the chat. Someone said, well, it's because their spouse is gay. That's why they cheated. I'm trying to keep it as
No. That's definitely not
and that
why.
person's spouse is gay. Who cheated?
No, they are? No, they're
I
not.
mean, yeah. Have you seen the spouse?
You just mean like they're kind of gay looking.
I mean, I haven't seen a gawk in his butt. Well, I'll just say it. I guess him. But boy, he is.
I wasn't gonna go there.
He's so.
I wouldn't say he's gay. I would say he's just a bitch. You know. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I don't even mean gay homosexual. I just mean like he's not homosexual at all. I just think he's a woman. He. You know.
If your wife marries you, let me just give some piece of advice right now to all the men out there. If your wife marries you because you're nice, she's gonna get bored of you in 2 years. If a girl's with you because you're nice, you're toast in 2 years. Just so you know. Like, girls think that they want nice guys. You don't have to be an asshole or a fucking dick or sell drugs or nothing. But like, if that's like, oh my God, he always brings me soup every night when he comes home from work. He always rubs my feet. Like, you're fucked. You're fucked. He's gonna get so bored of you.
All right, I'm putting this overlay on my computer, and I'm about to join you real quick to see if it works. Bye.
Okay, bye. See you. All right. I'm gonna keep guessing. Cooper Marsh fuck Noah Olson. God, not that I know of. My wife married me when I was fat. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Because then you can only make shit better. My wife married me when I was fucking dirt poor. Not married me, but
Oh, here we go. Lizzie just said you missed it.
You can't just come on my show.
Dude, you missed it. Lizzie just said, well, you're not nice, so I'm not gonna get bored of you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know you're perfect. You're perfect. You have your swings are perfect. You have a dynamic range to you. Yeah,
Okay,
hey dude,
this
I think we're
sucks.
gonna use. It's gonna look like this, right?
I'm adding
This
a
is
new
the-
one. Let's see.
This is the window we're gonna use, right? You'll be working out in that section, and then
Ah,
and
fuck,
then
it's not transparent. God, I suck ass. Got to redo that. The one I just made is right. I just got to download it with a transparent background. Transparent background. Do you think people enjoy like being on the show and having these like in real time right now? We're doing like I'm struggling through technical difficulties and
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, dude, we sprinkle in it. We sprinkled in infidelity and fun shit. So you know what I mean? It's like, hey, we'll deal with their fucking bullshit. If technical problems, maybe they'll spill on who's fucking who.
All right, let's see. I'm uploading
I
it
gotta
now.
use the bathroom though, so bad. Too many sponsors. I agree, and all I see is that proven sponsor Shut Up and Scribble.
That's good, right?
Yeah, I think that should work. I mean, like if we have 3 people on, maybe it's the dudes on the top and bottom might get cut off a little bit. The dude on the top.
I think it's much. Oh, so you're saying I should fix this left side too? Okay, I could probably do that. Let me see. I mean, the only thing I can think of doing is just deleting my own fucking logo, or maybe put it.
What is proven is Corey Pulidos?
Yeah, Corey Polito. Let's have me and JR pay our fucking mortgage, you assholes. So don't even tell me too many sponsors.
Real estate with Brendan Lecoq.
He's a sellout. Hey, I'm not a sellout. I fuck with every last person on this overlay. Fuck with them hard. They're good people. I can say cunt. I can say all these fucking words. They're not gonna ditch me. You know what a sellout is? It's someone who
You're gonna find out that it's Lecoq sending clips to Cooper Marsh.
Oh, dude, we have the perfect amount of viewers right now. So I just hold on. Can I make fun of someone on this show like real time?
Can you send me who it is in the private chat?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna text you. I'm not gonna do it in the private chat because it's faster for me to just text.
God, I got shit so bad.
You just have to hold it in or let a little bit out. Let just enough out to.
Yeah. You can talk any shit you want about him. He's a clown, dude. Cooper's a clown.
So if you like, this is just gonna take 3 minutes. So if you have to poop that bad, I would say just poop like 1/3 of what you have to poop into your pants. Like not enough that it'll go out of your pants.
Like prairie dogging.
Yeah, no, it'll stay in. Okay, hold on. I'm sharing a screen. Guys,
Okay,
you guys
here, let me just so I can enjoy this just for a second. Let me just come back and
all right, go take a shit. I'll wait.
Okay, let me oh, and I can't even play a commercial because you have the wrong banner up.
Oh, here, I'll switch it. I'll switch it and I'll play with the different.
Or you can just talk to people. You want to just talk to people?
Yeah, I'll just talk to people. So right now, what I'm gonna work. Well, someone's taking a dookie. I am going to work on moving. What the? Oh, it's just a shadow on my window. It was a car. You see these cars over there in the window? That scared the shit out of me. Comments. Hi Taylor. Hi Standy. Standy's on Sentinel now. She's on a free trial. How are you liking it? Just better be nice. If you better be nice here. Never poop your pants on purpose. You do actually poop your pants on purpose if it's just a little bit. What are the syndicate workouts? Okay, workout 1, 50 dick bounces for time, the Coach L special. You guys are gonna love it. You guys are actually gonna watch Jason Hopper take the win on that one. He's just gonna set the world record. It's crazy. Shrink the title, maybe. Oh, acronym. Yeah, SUA. I don't know. I'm just going to do Shut Up and Scribble. I'm going to remove JR Howell and Taylor Self. And I think I'm going to take the Sentinel training logo and put it like in the upper right-hand corner of the image with a transparent background. And maybe WPTH2. Like move those both over because those are both me and JR's. They're not that important. I don't know. He might get pissed at me for saying that, but let me play with that for a second. Oh, what is the cap on 50 dick bounces? What's to completion? So there's no cap, you know. Taylor Biesterfield almost died after only 2 days of your program. What is your response? Chris, you should be fucking scaling to hit the workout stimulus, and death is not the stimulus.
A little pee came down the shaft. I mean, not like out the head, but as I got up, you know, like when like you walk towards the toilet and you feel like a little, like you're like, oh shit. But when I pulled down my pants, no pee had actually left the, you know, the cock. But I felt a little.
It happens. It happens to me in reverse. Like I stand up after peeing because sometimes I sit when I pee, and some will come out like as I stand up, and it'll get on my leg.
Yeah.
It'll
get on your leg. Jesus Christ.
Okay, Lizzie, this is my show. Don't talk. Okay.
See, they have a very happy relationship. See how that works, people?
All right, I'm gonna share. This is crazy, dude.
Your house, my house is so fucked up compared to your house because I have like kids and shit and holes in the walls and like, look, you have like molding and like.
Dude,
nice
we can't afford a hole in the fucking wall in this house. All right, so check this out. Look at this guy's dude. First off, hold on. Can you guys see? Look at his nose. Ready? I didn't realize Cooper Marsh had Peyronie's disease in his nose. His fucking nose has a penile. This guy's nose has penile curvature, dude. Somebody get this guy some Xiaflex.
Is that James Hobart he's talking to?
Yeah, dude. James Hobart has the prettiest face in CrossFit. Meanwhile, Cooper Marsh has got a mean left hook. It looks like he's going to have sex at a right angle with his nose.
Hobart's turning into Alex Parker, dude. If Hobart loses any more weight, he's going to be Alex Parker.
Holy shit, that is Alex Parker.
Wow, what the fuck is going on there?
Look at that thing. Can you?
I'm gonna send that to Tyler Hansen and see if Hobart and yeah, that you think he got in a fight or something? Someone punched him in the face.
It's Peyronie's, dude. I mean, it really is. It's a penile curvature. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, wow.
This is the wrong podcast to be making fun of. No, see, here's the thing. Sevan has a large nose, but it's beautifully symmetrical. It matches his ethnic.
Mine's got a bump where I broke it too. Mine's got a pretty
but dude, it matches your like ethnicity. Like it just fits. This guy's nose looks like
Cooper.
I mean, yeah, looks like he's got a lump on his dick.
Hey, dude, this is the nicest thing you've ever said about him. This isn't even.
I wonder if he watches the Xiaflex commercial and gets like a little, that little thought bubble comes up like, oh, if they only made that for noses.
What's Xiaflex?
It's fucking Peyronie's meds, dude. It's one of the top 3 pharmaceutical commercials in the United States, bro. It's for that heavy dick syndrome.
You're saying that you can. I had a buddy who had Peyronie's in his hand. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like isn't it like the tightening of some it's like some cartilage or something or some tendons or something grows and pulls your hand shut like this, and every few years you have it all cut out and your hand opens back up. I think it's the same thing on the dick. You have something that starts pulling your dick sideways.
Yeah, if you guys were wondering if this guy was straight, just look at his nose.
Hey, his nose is his best quality. The fact that he's fucking tattling, the tattling thing, and Cooper, just to explain it to you, like, it's one thing like to be like that guy's an asshole or push back, but when you start going after people's money and like it's just gonna get sideways, dude. You cross the line. Like there's a line, dude. You don't go after people's parents, you don't go after people's wives or kids. You don't fucking tell people not to do shit with certain people. Like you don't tell someone like, hey, don't buy Sentinel training or just say,
oh,
hey,
well, I did that against HWPO.
It's within context though.
It's public.
Why not just be like, why not just instead of like, why not just him be like, hey, Taylor, you're fucking racist, homophobic, misogynist, and then you can be like, how do you figure? But instead, he's taking clips out of context and sending them around to people.
Right, right.
There's a huge. You're gonna lose, dude. 99% of the people can fully accept fucking 14-year-old boy humor that we do. And you're gonna lose, dude, trying to pretend like you're some sort of fucking adult. You're gonna lose, dude. Yeah, doxing's crossing the line.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like he's never been in it. Like this guy wants to act like one of the boys with all his athletes and like he's super cool, it's super dope. Like, hey, dude, you never been in a fucking Xbox live chat? Seriously? It's just crazy.
Yeah, I, every day I become less and less of a fan. I accepted him in the beginning because he was, you know, back in the day when he was just a kid and he was Josh Bridges like butt hair, you know, bald bag boy.
Oh, did he bundle his Josh Bridges butt hair? Did he carry it around for him?
Like Josh had an agent and Cooper was like, you know, his the agent's like assistant or something, and Cooper like would run around like he does with Danielle now. Like,
all right, let's get this ugly fuck off the screen. Sorry, let me get this out of here.
See you later, Mr. Marsh.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, he got 285. I just don't believe that until I see the video. People are like, oh, don't say he's lying about his score. Well, I'm not saying he's lying.
I don't think you get 285 and don't make a video.
Right.
I don't think you get 285 and not make it.
Is he smashing he's smashing his nose against something. That's what he's smashing. I don't know if he's smashing.
No, I think he's happily married. I get the impression he's happily married.
Oh, you don't think he hasn't? Yeah, I won't go.
I don't think he's like fucking Danielle or nothing like that.
There are a lot of people in the space.
But I bet you his wife has gotten nervous about that.
About what?
Just how much time he spends with fucking Super Beef.
Super Beef.
You know what I mean?
Dude, the King of Beaver. Listen, the King of Beaver came to my house on Monday night, drove 2 hours to redo the open workout. He does Sentinel. This guy is the fucking King of Beaver. Drove to my house to redo the open workout because he didn't video it and he wasn't doing it in an affiliate. So he messaged me. He was like, hey, dude, can I put down just your name as a judge in CrossFit Charlotte? I was like, no, but you can come to my house and do it. And I was kind of joking, but he was like, all right, I get out of school at 5. I'll be there at like 6:30, 7.
What makes him the King of Beaver?
He has this picture on his Instagram of him holding a dead, wet beaver. He's a fucking beaver hunter, dude, and he's the Beaver King. It's hilarious. He's so funny. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met. If he claims it, yeah.
Do you think the lab management guys vote Kamala?
I think the lab management guys probably do. I also, we were speaking about fidelity earlier, and there are a lot of people, maybe not a lot, there's a handful of people in the space that have problems with fidelity, and the amount that they virtue signal to other people and they get on their moral high ground and you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Meanwhile, you're like, dude, you are cheating on your spouse, you fuck.
Hey,
why?
But that's what's crazy. We do the show that gives away money every single week and we put it on the line. You have no grace for us for being fucking assholes. No one else is fucking doing it. It's the exact same thing. You're cheating on your fucking wife, but somehow we're fucking disrespectful to women.
It's
How about
crazy.
go fuck yourself.
I know, it's fucking insane.
And the list of that shit just goes on and on and on.
Yes.
Hey, listen, we know why you didn't pick Colton. We know why Snorri ended up with fucking Colton Mertens.
Oh, Colton's with Snorri?
Yeah, because Snorri's cool as fucking shit. And we know why the rest of you fucking guys never picked him. We fucking totally know why. Because he doesn't fucking fit the mold. We totally get it. We're not fucking stupid.
Well, he's not going to be controlled.
And he's not the cool kid. He's not the cool kid.
I don't know. He's a cool kid.
5'5", and because we know what a fucking real cool kid is. They're fucking do that LA fucking cuck shit. They want someone who fucking puts fucking gel in their hair and fucking says, hello, Mrs. Robinson.
Dude, I would say all the lab athletes are like the jocks who send a dick pic to an underage girl in high school. They're like the 18-year-old senior that sends a dick pic to like a sophomore and then gets like a sex charge for it. And fucking me and Colton are like the kids who skip biology class to go smoke weed in the woods behind the school. Like, that's the difference, really. Like, we're the kids that we like might get in trouble for truancy, but all the lab kids are like, they're the kids that are at school every day, but they're the kids that like send a dick pic to a sophomore. And now they have a fucking sex charge for the rest of their life because they couldn't keep their fucking dick thing in their pants.
Yeah, and one of the agents does have that. And by the way, here's another thing, a big dose of reality. When Colton goes away to fucking do an event, what he does the day before is fucking make sure that his fucking doggy kennel has enough water to be away from the dogs for a fucking day and a half, while the fucking other athletes are getting their eyebrows done. And it's no judgment anywhere. It's just the fucking reality of where their lives are. And like you can be attracted to people who are fucking real, or can be attracted to people who fucking it's all theatrics. It's up to you.
This is an interesting question from Heidi. Are y'all claiming no one in your circle would cheat on their wife? I'm claiming this. If someone in the circle cheat on their wife, I'd call them a piece of shit for it.
Yeah, you probably, to be honest, you might get you might get put out at least for a little while. No one wants that in our group, because no one wants none of us want instability in the group. And if you're cheating on your wife, if you're cheating on your wife, you have instability in your life. That means you're cloistered, you're keeping secrets.
Yeah, you're extremely untrustworthy. It's like the highest mark of untrustworthiness, I would say.
And you're a bad example for the other men around you. And it's, to be honest with you, it has to be even more, dude. You have to love your wife. You have to be a good parent.
What about men who send dick pics? Well, there's not much of that in our group, but there is one guy who does it quite a bit, and that would be me.
This is the only group of dudes I've ever hung out with where dudes send dudes dick pics.
Dude, really? That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've been doing that my whole life. I mean, maybe that's just the circles that I run in. But for my whole life,
you've had cameras in your life your whole life from when you were young. The effort it would take to send someone a dick pic when I was 25 would be enormous. I have to take the roll of film down to fucking CVS, get it developed, put it in an envelope.
Dude, when I was like 8, we were making home videos trying to be like Johnny Knoxville and fucking Bam Margera and Steve-O in my backyard. Like filming me and my neighbors running around with our like dicks out, like shaking them everywhere. like home video footage of kids just like pooping in the backyard. It was, I mean, we wanted to be Jackass. I mean, that's the culture that show created, and I honestly love it.
I'm gonna look at. We may even have. I think our group may even have some virgins. To be honest.
Oh, dude.
I'm gonna look at our list, but
100%.
I'm telling you, it is so fucking wholesome. I'd say half the dudes go to church.
Well, virgin, what do you mean by virgin? Like, if you mean by they have never put their wiener in a vagina, yes. If you mean they've never had anal done to them, then I don't think we have it.
Yeah, all these people talk so highly of their mates. I'm looking at the whole list of guys. Everyone talks so highly of their mates. Everyone's like, I mean, I could pick any one of these people. Every one of them wants to be a better person and provide more for their wives. Every single one of them.
No, I want to hear about this. Anyone catch the soaking joke Sprague made to the boys on Justice Pod? What's soaking?
That's what the Mormons do, right? You're not allowed to fuck, but you can put your cock in the vagina, and it's just called soaking, and it's not breaking. You haven't heard that? Yeah, and then there's someone and you can get a third person who will shake the bed so that it's not you pumping. There's like a soaker, and then there's a bed shaker.
And what's that called? So like the shaker, what's the bed shaker called?
Someone will tell us in the comments.
The frother? Is that like if you're the thing you put your milk in, you're trying to pour it in the coffee? The frother, dude?
This is amazing, Standy. How do you not know what soaking is? How does Taylor not know? Have not heard that term before?
Because I don't have to stick my fucking dick in a pussy and just not do anything with it. I have a wife, okay? I can do it. Well, not whatever I want, but I can at least have sex with her. You know, that's crazy.
Clark says it's just called a shaker. Yeah, so there's a shaker. You can soak.
Patrick is Mike Halpin and Brian Friend's shaker.
Oh my goodness. Flip it. Send
Taylor,
it to you. Flip it.
I don't know if I can answer this question. I'm gonna ask it out loud so Lizzie can. Taylor, did you and your wife wait until marriage? No.
High ground. Good to see you. Get your jerky now.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he sent me. I'm on a subscription. I'm fucking stoked.
Hey, when I get that stuff, I have to put it up. That's like, it's like Oreo cookies in my house.
I got to start hiding it from Lizzie because yeah.
Dude, she eats it all. I'm supposed to have the bags for my video, for my shows, and
not only that, like I don't want my kids won't eat that shit for dinner, and I'm like, hey dude, this stuff's fucking expensive and it takes a lot of work to make this. This is like if like in between jiu-jitsu and tennis you eat this shit. You don't get to just like gorge.
Right.
This isn't like you eat it at 1 a.m. watching TV because you fucking are hungry. Fucking have an apple.
use code Scribble for a discount.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Barry, the only thing that gets you 50% off is if, yeah, I won't go there.
I want to have those dudes on. I want to have those dudes on the show. Those dudes were both in the military.
Yeah, Dylan and Josh.
Have you met them?
I've never met them. I think JR met Josh at Wadapalooza, but I wasn't there. I want to meet Josh. Seems super cool.
Hey, do they hunt that? Do they hunt that meat?
I don't think they hunt it. Dude, somebody who was on my program hit me up and invited me out to Montana to do an elk hunt this year.
Wow.
I'm going to take him up on that. I'm trying to figure out, tell me if this is fucked up. I'm trying to figure out, I like taking Bryson on every opportunity of like where I go.
Bryson, yes.
Right. But I'm trying to figure out how to go about that because they didn't say, hey, you and Bryson should come. They're just like, hey, you should come to an elk hunt. But I don't want to be like, hey, can Bryson come? You know, but
No,
I want
to bring my boyfriend.
Dude. Oh, that's a good question. Kenneth said, who hunts beef? Wow, we're fucking retarded.
Bryson at the West Coast Classic, MVP, dude. He's the man.
Yeah.
He's the dude when you get out of the car, he grabs your wallet and then you're in the store and you're like, fuck, I forgot my wallet in the car. He's like, no, I got it, dipshit. You know what I mean? Like he's he's got his eyes everywhere. Yeah, he's great.
Jake said, you'll be in a tent and the water will taste funny. Then you'll wake up and your asshole will be 4 inches wide.
Oh, Jake. That is disgusting. I hate butthole talk.
I love it, dude.
I know. It's you're crazy.
Holy shit.
All right.
Yeah, all right, cool.
I'm 3 hours in. Lizzie, thank you for letting me borrow him. What were you doing over there on the couch? Is she programming?
Working for JR.
She's waiting for JR?
She's working for JR. She's a head judge at his competitions.
Oh. All right. Good shit. All right. Thanks, Taylor. Bye, Lizzie. Talk to you later.
Bye, Sevan.
Bye. Okay. Where the fuck is my... So it sounds like the I forgot to ask him about the workout, but it sounds like we'll be doing the workout at 3:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that what it sounded like? All right. Thanks, dude. Thanks for the membership. Hey, let me call Sousa. I'll call Sousa right when I get off and see if we can release episode 2 for a couple hours without getting in trouble. So stay close. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out today. Bye-bye.